of us are back, broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. It is the Wednesday edition of Ben and Woods. It has been a while. I am Ben Higgins. I am somehow, unlikely, the healthier of our title duo of the program. To my left is the actual healthy member of this crew, our executive producer, Paul Rindle. Paul, it is good to see you.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How did you enjoy your day off yesterday when neither of your hosts were available to come in due to illness?
I'm going to just tell you straight up, it wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad for me.
Yeah, there's really not much you can do. If we're
I was in a
both
weird
out,
spot.
And I appreciate Braden and Frank coming in yesterday, but there was really no other option. We discussed trying to come in, drag ourselves. Neither of us were up to it. We just could not get out of bed. And we'll explain in a second. To my right, an empty chair. Woodsy would love to be here. He tried. He wanted to be here. We talked about getting him in here. He is in bad shape. He does not have the flu. He tested negative for that. I believe he does not have COVID. But he is he's on like a nebulizer. He sounds terrible. Sounds awful. And we decided that it would be best if he stayed home at least one more day. Yeah. We'll see if he can come back tomorrow.
I told him, like, look, I actually feel pretty good. I'm fine. Ben, you had a totally different illness, which you can explain. But I just told Woods, I'm like, bro, I don't want to get sick either. So, like, I love you, and I know you really want to be here, but I don't want to get sick.
So the first thing, one of my buddies at Channel 10 said, oh, so you and Woods did sleep together at fantasy camp. And I said, that is categorically none of your business.
Yeah,
but
100%.
Even though we're both sick, we have completely different illnesses. Woods has something respiratory that he is battling, and we hope he gets well soon. My illness I was fine from about, chest up. No headache, no runny nose, no trouble breathing whatsoever. My illness took place entirely from the stomach on down. And I will tell the story in a moment. Let's hold off on the noises just for a second before I honestly almost made one of the worst decisions and biggest mistakes of my life on Sunday. And I'm lucky that I made it through because it was a really bad choice that I made.
I have not heard this story.
No, you haven't.
Sunday, all I know was Monday, you told us it had been about 48 hours maybe at that point that you weren't feeling well. Meaning this all started when you were in Las Vegas.
Yes. And
Sunday was a travel day?
I will explain what happened. I will tell you, though, now on the back end, I am 13 pounds lighter than I was 3 days ago.
Hey.
It was not pleasant. I do not recommend it as a weight loss strategy. I continue to recommend sdfatloss.com for the safe and efficient way to sustainably lose weight. This is not the way to go. But my belt doesn't even fit. My face looks different. 13 pounds lighter than, because I get on the scale almost every morning. I got on before I went to Henderson for my quick 2 days of golf. And then I got on it yesterday morning and I had lost 13 pounds. And I ate a lot the first, 36 hours I was in Henderson. And then after that, it was bad, Paulie. But
what did we eat in Henderson? Have we narrowed it down at all?
We're not sure whether it was food poisoning or it was a norovirus. But the upshot is I could probably stand to gain a pound or two at this point. And I was trying to think, well, what food can I allow myself to eat now? Do you have something that you like so much that you don't even let yourself like order it anymore? I absolutely do. And I haven't had it in a few years because I just know it's just too dangerous for me. I just like it so much, and it's so calorie laden that I won't even let myself go in that direction. The big old box of carne asada fries from the taco shop. Yeah. I mean, like that one order, it's got to be like 5,000 calories, and it's so good.
I think like I'll split an order with like my wife once every couple of years, maybe.
It has to be like the biggest treat. And I see like every time I go into one of those taco shops,
There's always somebody eating them.
I'll try to get a couple soft tacos, maybe 3 rolled tacos if I'm feeling spicy. But I see people always come in and order, I'll get the carne asada fries. And I go, I want those so badly, but I can't. I'm 50. I cannot let myself eat carne asada fries anymore. But
at this point, like taco shop, like cheating is a burrito. Like
right,
that
yes,
feels
that feels like that's
hey,
the
this is heavier than I
have
probably
barely
should
eaten
go.
it all today. I worked out twice. All right, I'm gonna get a big carne asada or chicken burrito, and that's the treat now. But I can't let myself do the nachos or the carne asada fries anymore. But they're so good. They're like my one temptation that I just had to cut out because honestly, it's just too good, and I can't even remind myself of what they taste like. But I thought, well, you lose 13 pounds. My belt doesn't even fit anymore. Might as well indulge myself at some point. It's probably not the best food to go back to after 3 days of nothing but a little bit of broth, some dry toast.
Oh, you have not gotten?
Oh no!
I thought those were I thought you got those on like Friday night.
No. I have not gotten. I was thinking I
that's
could.
What you're ready. You've made the room now.
No, I have not done it. Yeah, I have not done that yet. I've been nothing but broth and toast and some white rice. I had a little cereal yesterday. That was a nice little upgrade. I had a small bowl of frosted mini wheats. It stayed down, which is why I'm here today and not still at bed. This is the first time I've actually been out of the house since I got home. But here's what happened on Sunday, and I feel fortunate that it worked out. But on Saturday night, we went to an incredible dinner. Went out to a place called Casa Playa, which is a really fancy Mexican restaurant inside the Wynn.
Yes.
Really.
Okay. Haven't been there.
It's an amazing place. Like we ordered, there's 4 of us. We ordered, they brought you your own like mini, what is it called? A trompo, like an al pastor, like carved at the table, like your own.
Do it right there.
To make your own tacos with the pineapple and all the fixings.
Build your
and the
own,
tortillas,
whatever. Yeah.
Build your own. Like make your own guacamole and salsa at the table. They do a table side. I mean, it's like Mexican done up to the nth degree. And it was delicious. And I don't want to blame them because I don't know that was when or where I got sick. But that night, went to bed, got up a couple of times with stomach problems. But you know what? You had a big, rich dinner. It's like, okay, you deserve that. That's probably going to happen. And then I woke up and I was feeling fine. Had a little bit of oatmeal on Sunday morning for breakfast and off to the golf course for our last round.
Sunday morning,
yeah, like 9:00. Tee off, playing okay. Everything's fine. I get to around the 16th hole and I am starting to feel pretty like queasy and not myself. I'm going, this is not good. I fight my way through. I pick up on the 17th hole, which I never do, but I hit a bad shot and I go, I'm just going to sit this one out. Somehow I got out a par on the last hole to win the last hole. I was proud of that. But then immediately run into the bathroom at the golf clubhouse, and then feeling worse and worse. I go like to the car. I'm just sitting on the curb, like waiting for my buddies, going like, okay, I need to get back. So they drive me back. My friend drives me back to his house. Immediately go to the bathroom, feeling worse and worse. I'm like, I get in the shower because I think that might help. And I can't even stand. It's one of those where you're now sitting on the floor of the shower and just feeling like death. Boy. Just immediate death. Starts coming up and I'm at the toilet, so it's okay. You don't want to be sick at your friend's house. That's like the worst place. You're a house guest and you're in their bathrooms and you're like, oh, please don't leave a giant mess. So you're feeling embarrassed. My flight is in about 3 hours. I'm supposed to go to the airport.
Oh, no.
But after I get it out, you have that, oh, okay, I feel human again. I got, get out of the shower. All of a sudden, it's out. I go, okay, I think I'm okay. Mm-hmm. I sit down for, I get dressed, getting some comfy clothes. I'm already packed. I'm like, okay, you know what? I want to get home. I can do this. It was probably just, that was it.
It's out of my system.
It's out of my system. I did it. I'm okay. They're gonna drop me off at the airport and they're going off to dinner. So get in the car, load up, head to the airport. I don't feel great, but it's like, I can do this. I get out, get my bags. Everything's smooth. I get through security and I've still got about an hour until my flight. So I'm walking down the terminal and I
I
see.
don't like where this is heading. I just want to say that right now.
So I'm walking down the long, long
Oh.
terminal toward my gate, and I start not feeling great again.
The bubble guts.
I see the lounge that I have access to, which is great. It's there. So I go and say, hey, there's a little bit of a line, she said about 15-minute wait, but we can get you in. I think, okay, well, I'd rather wait in there than sitting out here with everybody. Plus, hopefully you've got a nicer bathroom in there. So she signs me up. I go and sit down on a chair, and I just start feeling worse and worse. At just the last minute before I'm like, what am I going to do? I get the text, and she says, okay, we got a spot for you. So I kind of start to stagger over, and I am feeling terrible. They get me in to the lounge, and I immediately find, fortunately, a private bathroom, like locked door, just one. It's just you. It's your own bathroom, like one of those gender neutral, not a men's room, not a women's room. You just go in. It's your own bathroom. I am now like dying. I feel so horrible that I can barely move, and I am in there, 15 minutes or more, and I am on the verge of calling 911. It is that bad. Like I am feeling like I'm about to die alone in Harry Reid Airport in a lounge bathroom at Harry Reid Airport. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know what to do. I mean, this is going to be the most embarrassing place.
They're going to walk in and find you sitting there.
Sit like laying, like
some
almost
guys just can't handle Vegas.
Exactly. Like I've been, just drinking a million drinks. That's exactly what they're going to think. And as I'm thinking this, I may have even passed out for like 30 seconds or 45 seconds because I feel like I'm out, and I'm like, come to.
Really?
Yes, it's so bad. But at that moment, for whatever reason, I start feeling a little better. It's like the wave passes, and I'm able to get up, clean myself off, and go out, and they find me a nice spot in the corner, like a couch.
Oh my God.
And I basically take a nap for the next 35 minutes until my boarding time. I'm not great, but at this point it's like, what am I going to do? Like call someone to come pick me up, or do I just get on it's a 40-minute flight.
Right.
It's a 40-minute flight. It's like, I want to be home more than anything else.
Oh God. That's so bad.
I get on and I go to a window seat. I immediately
hang on real quick.
Yeah.
Was there a thought of it might be easier to rent a car and drive home?
It's
going to take longer.
It would take, it's just no chance. It's either
how frequent.
It's either go back to my friend's house and just ride it out for however many days, or get home. And so I get on the plane and I just go right to the window seat. I close my eyes. I am feeling like I'm in a cold sweat the entire time. Never opened my eyes.
Do you have anybody on the plane in the seat next to you?
Absolutely full flight, of course.
God.
I don't look. I never looked at it. I couldn't tell you, man, woman, what they look like. I never open my eyes. I just bury my head into the side of the plane.
They're sitting there like, who the hell is this guy?
Well, of course. And you're, of course, on a plane to San Diego. And it's not like I'm a completely unknown figure. So this is also going through my head. But I just grit my teeth. And I just pray for this flight not to have any delays, or I'm thinking, if there's fog and we get diverted to LA or something and I have to bust, I'm not going to make it. But fortunately, flight gets done. I'm able to drag myself to the baggage claim. My son is there to pick me up right there in front. I get in the car.
Now you only have a 40-minute drive home.
And then I put the seat back and I go, just get me home.
Oh my God.
And as soon as I get home, I get right in bed, and I did not get out for the next 2.5 days. And I feel like that was almost the biggest mistake I ever made, was getting on that plane. But I just wanted to be home.
You had to, though.
So badly. I just did not want to be anywhere else. I did not want to be in a city that I didn't know. I didn't want to be at a friend's house. I just wanted to be home in my bed.
You're at the point where you're like, if I'm staying in Nevada, it's because I'm going to a hospital.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Oh, it was bad.
We didn't have a whole lot of communication over the weekend. Let you do your thing in Vegas. I think at noon on Monday, I had talked to Woods and he sounded terrible. I go, what the hell happened? He's like, I felt this way since Friday. And then he goes, Ben's even worse than me. I'm like, wait, what the hell happened to him? What's going on? I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, feel okay now. Feel much better
Congratulations
this
on
morning.
the 13 pounds.
Thank you.
You look great. I'm sure you don't feel
How's the
great.
haircut? See, I got the haircut on Friday. We were no more Chairman Ben. It's already coming back. It really grows fast up there in those corners, doesn't it? But I think Juan did a pretty good job. Suits my new head shape that I have acquired in the last 3 days. My glasses are like way too big for me now. What happened to me? Where am I? I'm gone.
I didn't want to go there. I don't know that it was the haircut that made you Chairman Ben. I'm thinking it might be the shape of your actual head.
It's possible.
You sent us an update on Friday afternoon, whenever that was, and I go,
still kind of there.
Oh, it's still very much Chairman Ben.
I guess it's surgery in my future. Head reshaping surgery is somehow in my future. Everyone's saying, what haircut? I thought he did a good job.
I think
unfixable.
Traditionally, that's the sign of a good haircut where you don't even notice. It's not super noticeable. Like, oh, that looks great. Like, oh, I barely.
Except when you really want people to notice.
Except you want it. Yeah. I think it might. Yeah.
How about you, Paulie?
How
How was your
to
weekend?
shave that down or something? My weekend was great. I did not spend the whole weekend
so happy
in the bathroom.
For you. We're so happy for healthy Paulie.
I went to the Aztecs game with my wife on Saturday night. That was a blast. As much of a blast as blowing a 15-point lead at halftime can be. But hey, New Mexico's a good team, and we'll talk about that game later this morning. I
did watch it on my phone, streaming CBS Sports app, and was able to live and die and live again with the Aztecs at the end of that game. That they nearly blew a 15-point lead, but somehow pulled out of the fire to remain undefeated in Mountain West Conference play.
That game, we were coming up Montezuma to the parking structure, watching the end of regulation between the Broncos and Bills game on my phone. And then once, probably like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the first half, everyone around us had the game going on their phone while watching the Aztecs game, because that game was, once it got into overtime, unbelievable. The football was just phenomenal, whether it's college on Monday night, the 3 of the 4 NFL games.
2 of the 4 for
amazing.
Sure. The college football game was really amazing. We'll talk about that. What an incredible story. The Indiana Hoosiers winning the national title.
I haven't really put it into perspective yet. It's almost the rags to riches story, like the transformation of that school in 2 years. I haven't really fully let that sink in. I've seen other people that follow football and college football way more than I do going, this is unprecedented. We've never really seen anything like this before. It's amazing what has happened, because you think Indiana, it's a big school. They're not a blue blood, but it's a big school. Surely they've had some success at some point.
They're in the Big Ten. They get the Big Ten TV money. Why couldn't they be successful? But it's college football. There's haves and have-nots, and they've been a have-not for so long. You just kind of assume they're always going to be that way.
I mean, does everybody know, like, Curt Cignetti did not, like, go to Indiana from, Ohio State or like any of the blue bloods. Like, he came from James Madison, like, who was also in the playoffs this year. It's remarkable what they did. I was very happy with the results.
Absolutely. It's a fairly quiet weekend for the San Diego Padres. No big moves, but still could have some things happening as we get closer to the start of spring training. I know the Padres are sending out their equipment. Tomorrow's truck day, they call it, where they load up everything at Petco Park and send out all the gear, the bats, the balls, the catcher's equipment, and everything that they need for spring training. Obviously, they have a lot of it already there. We were just there at fantasy camp, but they got their own personalized gear for all the players and everything, and that will get on those trucks and be ready for the players to show up in Peoria, Arizona in just about, 2 weeks or so. 2.5 weeks until pitchers and catchers report to spring training.
The amount of equipment it takes to operate a Major League Baseball team for the spring it's truly remarkable. When you watch the videos and you just kind of see the pallets upon pallets upon pallets of gear and uniforms and baseballs, and if you can see any of their lockers, like, there's just boxes of bats all over the place and 12 different pairs of shoe boxes everywhere. It's crazy.
Yeah, you think about first of all, they have way more players at spring training than in the regular season. So Major League camp starts with like 60 or 70 guys to begin with. Plus, there's all the minor leaguers. Each one of those guys essentially has an entire like wardrobe of different spring training jerseys,
2 different shorts,
yes,
5 different workout shirts.
That's all.
Hoodies.
That's all got to get over there for spring
batting
training.
practice
Plus,
tops.
yes, all their gloves, their batting gloves, as you said, the bats. I mean, the stuff that they just have to bring. It's like every single one of those guys is moving on, for a month and a half.
Plus all of the just general equipment, workout gear, baseballs, whatever stuff that they don't have already out there. They got to bring all that stuff too for the next, 6 weeks?
Yes. So it's a big operation that is underway. And it's been underway the last few days. They'll just have the official shipping out tomorrow of Truck Day, but it's always a sign to me that baseball season is right around the corner.
Oh yeah. You got the fryer out there.
Yeah.
TJ is the guy in charge. He's always talking about.
It's his one chance to do some interviews every year. It's like, TJ, you're the star of the day, TJ.
This is his Super Bowl. Tomorrow is his Super Bowl.
And we all get to be excited. No one's won or lost any games. And the Padres always hope heading into spring training. But I don't think we're certainly not done with moves. There's plenty of free agents out there. There were a couple of moves over the weekend since we last joined you on Friday morning, including the Bo Bichette signing with the New York Mets, which came as a fairly big surprise to a lot of people. And there was a trade this morning that we can get to coming up next that involved a player that had been discussed, at least in the past, with the San Diego Padres and A.J. Preller, but he is also going to the Mets. We will get to all of that and set the menu for the rest of our Wednesday Woodsless edition of Ben and Woods. Glad to have everybody back with us. Paul, at least the two of us can be back, and hopefully
I think we can do it.
Hopefully Woods will be back soon. Let's take our first time out, get a check of traffic with Kelly Danick as we roll on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First thing up this morning, though, 7 Mile Casino. It's your 24/7 option to play cards in San Diego, which means right now, 6:23 a.m. on a Wednesday, they are open. I love the idea that if you work odd hours and you're just getting off your shift right now and you don't want to just go right home and go to sleep, you need to unwind for an hour or two, you can go to 7 Mile Casino. You can play some California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Pike Owl, or Baccarat. Enjoy yourself, unwind, go home and then at 8:30 a.m. and get your sleep and get ready for your next workday. There are very few 24/7 options in San Diego and even fewer where you can get a great meal. But the 24/7 players menu at Sammy's inside 7 Mile, available all the time. The menu is fantastic, including the Kung Pao chicken, which is sensational. The absolute best version I have ever had. You really do need to try it if you haven't done so already. But otherwise, just go play some cards, enjoy the tremendous atmosphere. Dealers are going to take good care of you. It's comfortable. It's got windows, smoke-free, no slot machines. It's just all about card playing. Take care of their high limit players as well. You get a 35% discount on food while you're at the tables at 7 Mile Casino. So want to make sure that you're happy, you're comfortable, and you're coming back again and again. Upscale, great place. It's been our place for several years. Make it yours. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Start with the somewhat breaking news, a late overnight trade in Major League Baseball. The New York Mets have acquired center fielder Luis Robert Jr. in a trade with the Chicago White Sox. And I think the price tag here, Paulie, was pretty high considering Luis Robert Jr., as much potential as he has, really has not performed at all at the big league level the last couple of years. The White Sox are going to get back Luis Angel Acuna, Ronald Acuna's brother, and another pitcher, right-hander Truman Pauly. And I believe the Mets are going to take on the whole salary of Luis Robert Jr. as well, which is $20 million this year with a $2 million buyout at the end of the year. So essentially $22 million bounce back gamble, one that the Mets can afford to take.
Sure.
Since they did not land Kyle Tucker. So they got a little extra money to spend on Bo Bichette and now Luis Robert Jr. I mean, if he has a good season, everyone will go, oh, that was such a savvy pickup by the Mets. They, they saw it coming, and what's $20 million for them? That's nothing. You can see it working out, but ultimately, like if the Padres were going to pick up Luis Robert Jr., and we talked about it a lot at the trade deadline last year that he might be that extra
He's
bat.
been rumored for the last several years, but I feel like the shine has kind of come off of him over the last couple of years. He just hasn't quite lived up to what you were hoping if the Padres were to make that trade and pull the trigger and get him.
I was thinking like low-level prospect and the White Sox pick up a bunch of the salary. So for the White Sox being able to deal Luis Robert, get a couple of players, including Luis Angel Acuna, it's not his brother for sure, right, but he's a nice infielder, serviceable, potential infielder, and they offload all the money. I'd imagine the White Sox feel like that's a big win. And the Mets are thinking, well, we got a lottery ticket, and if it happens to come through, we'll look like geniuses because he's a good defender.
They can afford the risk.
They were a bad defensive team. They've spent their entire offseason, mostly trying to upgrade the defense with the addition of Marcus Semien and other players. The offense probably isn't as good, although Bo Bichette's going to help. It's just a revamped New York Mets team in so many ways.
Do you feel like the Mets are better than they were at the end of last year? Because I don't know either.
I don't know.
I think those are all like fine players. I don't know that they're gaining more than they lost.
They've lost Edwin Diaz. They've lost Pete Alonso. They've lost Brandon Nimmo. They've lost Jeff McNeil. They've added Semien, Jorge Polanco, Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, Devin Williams, and Luke Weaver. I on paper, my gut is they're not as good, but it didn't.
I was going to say, like, at best, it's kind of a wash.
But it didn't work last year. And sometimes different is just, you just need to try something different. And they're going with what they think is a more well-rounded team as opposed to one that can really, smash you into submission with the offense. So that was the big baseball news last night. We'll get to some more baseball talk a little bit later. I want to set the menu, though, on the Wednesday edition of Ben and Woods here. Coming up in this segment, I do want to talk more SDSU basketball because you were at the game, as you said, on Saturday, and they've got another big game tonight in Phoenix against Grand Canyon. But there was some developing news overnight about the Aztecs that we need to pass along as well. So we'll get to that coming up. As we mentioned, just some unbelievable football over the weekend with the NFL divisional round of the playoffs and the NCAA championship on Monday night. I did get to watch that from home in bed and enjoyed that game quite a bit, actually, between Indiana and Miami. So we'll talk about that coming up. Well, if Don't Do This at 7:20. At 7:35, Craig Elston will join us. Yes, normally a Monday guest, but we weren't here on Monday or Tuesday. So Craig, kind enough to come in and talk some Padres Hot Tub on a Wednesday at 7:35. We'll play a little real or fake since Woods isn't here, but we still have a chance to qualify for those Sammy Hagar tickets and trip to Las Vegas at 8:20 this morning. Have a Rindle report, a biggest fan, and James Taylor giveaway. James Taylor coming to play at the Rady Shell, correct, in April, and we'll have some tickets to give away in the second half of the program for that concert as well. So that's what we've got coming up today. Let's get another quick check of traffic with Vicky, and then we'll come back and talk some Aztecs basketball with that developing news next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This update is brought to you by Creative Repipe. It's garbage, not cars, that are slowing you down. Lots of trash out there on the roadway on the southbound side of the 805, right by the 94. And then you still have that unknown debris spill taking out the left lane south on the 15 at Via Rancho Parkway. Starting to get a little bit sluggish northbound on the 5 as you approach the 15, but looking great on the 8. Don't wait until that water leak in your home becomes a flood. Call Creative Repipe for a whole house repipes. Get a 20% discount plus a lifetime warranty. Free estimates with financing available. Visit CreativeRepipe.com. That's CreativeRepipe.com. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
My apologies. Sue, not Vicky, this morning in for Kelly Danik. All right, so Paulie, on Saturday night, the Aztecs built a 13-point halftime lead against New Mexico at Viejas Arena. You got to be feeling pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Aztec alum, arena's rocking. New Mexico is, I always think, kind of secretly maybe the biggest rival of the Aztecs.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
they're a thorn.
I think UNLV is the one that, they think they're the Aztecs' rival. Fresno State thinks they're the Aztecs' rival. But for my money, as an Aztecs fan, New Mexico has always been the school that kind of gets under my skin the most. Yeah. And I really want to see San Diego State win that game. And now it's got a whole new dimension with their new coach, Eric Olin, who I like a ton, was UCSD's head coach, led him to the NCAA tournament last year, took some of his players, other players with San Diego connections, and has built something pretty decent.
Oh, they're a good team.
First season, yep. They're a good team. And they fought back in the second half after falling behind by 15. San Diego State went cold, and New Mexico State went on a big run. Eventually got back not only to tie the game, but got to the lead with a minute to go. They were up by 2 when Olin, who is known for believing in Analytics, Advanced College Basketball Analytics, made a very fateful decision in that game that I thought was fascinating. With a 2-point lead, they fouled Miles Heide intentionally to send him to the line. One of the worst free throw shooters in college basketball, shooting like 38% from the line. And the logic is, if he does not make both free throws, you've got the lead and the ball, and you have put yourself in a great situation to win. What are the chances that Miles Heide is going to actually make both free? I don't know that he's made both free throws in a trip to the foul line all season long. Wouldn't you know, Miles Heide gets up there and knocks them both down. What was the mood? Were you there all the way to the end of the game?
Oh, yeah.
What was the mood like when Miles Heide stepped up to the line with 2 free throws in that situation?
Just hold your breath. Really, just hold your breath. Pray he makes one of them. Like, you're just hoping to hit the first one.
Right.
He had no pressure. That was smooth as silk from
They
him.
were both like perfect.
I was like,
And
just do that every time.
like I'm watching on my phone, and so I'm not really like listening. I kind of could see what was happening, but I go, is that really Miles Heide? Is that someone else? Because those free throws looked smooth and perfect. And
it was it's weird because I didn't really notice the analytical the foul in the moment being there.
Instantly they decided we're now going to foul Miles Heide up 2.
It's
and
just
put him
being
on the
there
line.
and not watching on the television broadcast, a little bit different. You were just like so hyped up. You kind of just didn't even know. All of a sudden you blinked and then Miles Heide's going to the line. I think it's still the right move by Eric Olin. I think analytically, it's not always going to work out, but
but it should. The numbers say that it should work out more often than not.
The odds are stacked against
Dutch
him.
even
to make
admitted,
both.
he said after the game, I guess I'm not a smart enough head coach because I had no idea what they were doing. Now, he takes Miles Heide out when they're like up, 2 or 3,
Right.
and they know the other team needs to foul. He'll take Heide out so they don't have the option of fouling him, send a better free throw shooter to the line. But he's thinking, we're behind. They're not going to try to put us on the line to tie the game potentially. Who would do that? But a coach like Eric Olin, who knows the numbers, knows the percentage and the chances of a guy who makes 38% of his free throws making both of those, puts his team in an advantageous situation. But making both of those free throws changed the entire final minute. New Mexico then gets the ball, but Miles Byrd comes up with a steal. He had another great performance where he filled up the stat sheet for the Aztecs, and he's been doing that more lately. They've been needing more from Miles Byrd, and they've been getting more.
I think it was
from
one of
Miles
his best
Byrd.
games as an Aztec. on
Absolutely.
Saturday.
Finished with 21 points,
Yep.
8 rebounds, 3 steals, and 4 blocks. Just doing everything for San Diego State in that game. And then BJ Davis makes the clutch go-ahead jumper with 11 seconds left. New Mexico doesn't make their shot. Aztecs go to the line and finish out an 83-79 win that gives them sole possession of first place in the Mountain West after Utah State lost over the weekend to Grand Canyon, the team that the Aztecs are playing tonight. And by the way, if you're just waking up, Utah State lost again last night to UNLV in the late game at home in Logan, where they very rarely lose. As a 15.5-point favorite, UNLV went in and shocked the Aggies with a 10-point win last night, which means if San Diego State wins tonight, they will have a 2-game lead over everybody in the Mountain West. They'll be 8-0. Everybody in second will be 6-2, including Utah State and New Mexico and potentially UNLV, who will be the Aztecs' next opponent on Saturday in a road game. So these next 2 games on the road, potentially separators for San Diego State. And then they've got the game at Utah State, I think a week from Saturday, which will be another big one. But these two can they can put some distance between and they can even drop 1 or 2 down the stretch and feel good about their chances to win the Mountain West. So they continue to roll and put themselves in a really good position.
Boy, it's crazy the difference a month can make or whatever. I mean, a month ago we were like, the season's over, just playing for 4 days in Vegas at the end of the season in the Mountain West tournament. That's your only chance to get in. I don't know what their at-large chances are going to end up being by the end of all of this, but they are in the driver's seat. They are looking more like a team. One noticeable player not really contributing much, and I think you have an update on the reason why, talking about Magoon Guath, but the way everyone else has stepped up, and it feels like all the issues at the beginning of the season, it just looked like chemistry issues, gelling, finding the right rotations of guys. You're working in 10, 11 players. That's not easy to do. I feel like Dutch has kind of settled into more of a regular rotation. And when you get production like you're getting off the bench from Taj DeGorville and BJ Davis and Pharaoh Compton, if he's not starting, they all had tremendous games on Saturday. And that's the key to victory, right?
Possibly the best bench in America, which is a double-edged sword, obviously.
Right. A little bit.
You don't necessarily always want to have the best bench in America, but
it's better than having the worst bench.
Yeah, you can make the argument. But as you alluded to, the update late last night from Mark Ziegler, Magoon Guath is out tonight. He's got a hip flexor injury. Nothing specified by Dutch other than he's kind of day-to-day, week-to-week. Certainly explains his lack of minutes. He's averaging only 18 minutes per game. Has started to show signs, but then the last couple of games took himself out early, and it reportedly is due to the hip flexor that's been giving him trouble. So the Mountain West Defensive Player and Freshman of the Year last year going to be out for at least tonight and possibly the future. And while I will say the Aztecs have played maybe better without him than with him, if they really want to go like make a run in the NCAA tournament, they need Magoon Guath to come back and play like Magoon Guath and be the defensive stopper in the middle. They can beat Mountain West teams without Magoon Guath, but when they go up against a big time school like in North Carolina last year in the NCAA tournament, and they had him, but they didn't have him. Remember, he was hurt and he tried to come back for that game, but he wasn't him. They won't be able to match up against those bigger teams. So they need Magoon Guath to come back if they want any shot, I think, of making, a run in the NCAA tournament, if they even get there. But that's the update this morning on Magoon Guath.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. He's such a wild card, man, because he, at his best, he is so dominant and such a game changer. Whether he can shoot from three, he can handle it down low. He's such a game changer for the Aztecs. We just haven't seen him ever get going this year. I don't know that while Miles Heide has improved immensely over the last couple of years and turned himself into a very serviceable player, the combination of him, Compton, and Odin, it doesn't inspire a ton of confidence. Like you said, going up against some of these bigger schools that you'll run into in the tournament, I think those three can get the job done to even win the Mountain West, but I don't know how much farther it goes beyond that.
We'll talk more about tonight's matchup at Grand Canyon, where the Aztecs, I don't think have ever won.
I don't think they've ever won at that school.
I have been there for a game, and I can give you my firsthand description of what it's like at their arena with their fans, who are known as the Havocs.
Is that where you got hit by a car?
It is not where I got hit by a car. That was the
Tucson.
NCAA tournament. That was in Tucson. This was in Phoenix. It's kind of in central Phoenix, but I can give you kind of set the stage for what the Aztecs are going to be facing in that game tonight. Of course, we'll be talking to Craig Elston at 7:35. All guests on Bennett Woods appear on the David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. But I want to get into some football. Let's start chronologically, Pauly, since we are finally back here this morning. Can you talk a little bit about the NFL games on Saturday and Sunday, including that incredible Broncos-Bills overtime thriller in which Bo Nix leads Denver to the AFC Championship, but suffers a season-ending ankle injury, just like 3 plays before the end of the game?
Second to last play. It was like the kneel down, and I didn't even see really what happened.
He got hurt on that keeper to the left where he lost like 3 or 4 yards.
That's where the injury happened.
That's where the injury happened. And on the next play, he threw up the pass that got called for the pass interference that got them into field goal range. Then they took the knee. Then they kicked and won, but we didn't find out until after the game from Sean Payton.
No. He just kind of hobbled off.
That Bo Nix was going to be out for the season. So he's done.
I told you I was watching overtime on my phone from the Aztecs game and just kind of checking and seeing the score. Did not even notice the injury. Saw the update, 20 minutes later, whenever the push notification came out, and I just go, oh my God. Like, I don't really have sympathy for Broncos fans. I don't really care one way or the other about the Denver Broncos. But what is that feeling like? Like, you're like, oh my God, we won. We're going to the AFC Championship. That elation lasts 15 minutes until Sean Payton comes back out to the podium and says, by the way, Bo Nix fractured his ankle or whatever. He's out for the rest of the playoffs. And then you just go, oh, cool, we're screwed.
That's what it does feel like. And I mean, can you see a world where Jarrett Stidham becomes like the unlikeliest hero of any Super Bowl in history, where he leads the Broncos to 2 wins? I don't think it's out of the question. I don't think the Patriots are unbeatable.
There's a non-zero chance,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Stidham
that line going to be?
Stidham has taken 1 snap this season. It was a kneel down, blowout win in week 8. And he has not thrown a pass, since 2023, I think, in the NFL.
They're done.
Sean Payton has been talking him up, saying, oh, he's absolutely ready to go. He's ready for the challenge, very excited about it. But, yeah, you've got to feel, if you're a New England Patriots fan, this could not have set up any better for your team.
Yeah,
finally
that organization catches a break.
Yeah, that this is set up very well with Drake May healthy and going into Denver for the AFC Championship game this weekend. I'm
looking right now. The early line the Patriots are favored by 4.5, and that seems insane to me.
What did you think in that game of the overtime interception by Jaquan McMillan? The play that Brandon Cooks had it for a second, they were kind of rolling down together, and then McMillan came up with it for the interception, because Cooks kind of contended, I had it, I was down, and then after he took it away, if they rule that a catch, Buffalo probably kicks the field goal and wins that game, and they're going on to the AFC Championship.
I did not see that actually happen in live time. Told you at the basketball game. Did see it afterwards, of course, and I watched it a few times, and I go, I don't quite I don't know that I've seen a play like that before. Certainly not with those implications. The season on the line.
Yeah.
I don't see how that's ruled an interception. I kind of agree with Buffalo fans. I think at that point, I thought he had the ball and was on the ground, and he's down. He's down. You know what I mean? You see it all the time when there's a big pile.
I know. I disagree, though. I think, in a situation like that, and the referees explained it, part of the catch is surviving through the ground. And as he came to the ground, the ball jostled loose and it was ripped out by McMillan. McMillan had the ball at the end of the play. Yeah. That's the one thing that we know for certain. And to me, that is the only evidence that I really need to see. Unless you can go back and go, oh, yeah, he's down. There's a beat. He's got the ball. He's completely down. And then it gets ripped out of his hand. It all happens so fast. I think, possession is
now I missed it live. Did they review?
I'm sure I don't know if they reviewed it officially, because it's overtime, but they look at everything now. It's the league office takes a look at everything.
Commercial.
It's a turnover. They looked at it, and I don't think there was any reason to call that a catch. It was an interception. And by the way, Buffalo still had a chance to stop them and get the ball back and win the game, and they did not. So I don't think it's a tainted victory at all for the Denver Broncos.
I wouldn't go that far either. It's just that's a 50-50 call, and it didn't go Buffalo's way. I don't know what else to say.
So we've got New England, and that was the New England-Houston game was pretty ugly. 8 turnovers between the two teams, but Drake May was definitely better than C.J. Stroud, and that was one of the biggest differences.
C.J. Stroud played terrible, and they still had a position. They had a chance to win.
That's why I'm not 100% sure New England's going to win this game against Denver, because Denver's defense is just about as good as Houston's. They were 1-2 in the NFL this year. Sure. And New England did not have an easy time. And even without Bo Nix, it's possible that the Broncos still have a better offense than Houston does, even without Bo Nix, because Houston's terrible. Their offense is terrible. Right. So is it possible? Should the Patriots be favored? Yes. I still think the Broncos might be able to pull this off on their home turf, in Denver. I think there's a chance, could they beat the Rams or the Seahawks in the Super Bowl without Bo Nix? Probably not. I would favor now the NFC champion over the AFC champion.
Sure feels that way.
No matter what. We can talk more about the NFC title game, another divisional rematch, the Rams and the Seahawks coming up on Sunday, which is, I think, all season long, those were the 2 best teams in the NFC. Were the Rams and the Seahawks. Doesn't always work out that way, that you get the 2 best teams, especially when they're in the same division.
Well, because then it looks like a 1 versus a 5 or whatever. You don't think so.
You don't think so. But in this case, I think ultimately, if you look at the talent on the roster and you look at the quarterbacking play, especially that the Rams got from Matthew Stafford, that this is the best possible matchup in the NFC for a championship game, and it should be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one quite a bit on Sunday.
I don't know that we move, if we're going to keep moving with football in our next segment. The fact that we haven't even mentioned that Bears game and the throw from Caleb Williams,
I know.
unbelievable.
We can get to that and the college football championship game as well. So much we're trying to catch up on a Wednesday. Finally back with Bennett Woods, our number one complete on San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, Paulie, I'm going to admit that you are going to need to carry more of the Rams-Bears discussion because that game was taking place while I was near death in the Las Vegas airport. That was exactly when that game was happening.
Yeah.
And all I remember is getting home. And if you didn't hear the story at the beginning of the show, don't go back and listen. But I remember,
But you can.
I remember climbing into the car, my son picking me up in San Diego.
What time are we talking? Like
This is
7,
it was,
8 o'clock?
I don't know. I think I landed like at 8:30.
Okay.
And I remember the only thing I asked him was, "Did the Bears or Rams win?" He goes, "Rams in overtime," and that was okay. I wanted to know. I was curious, but I did not. I was not conscious enough to see what actually happened. Now I've seen the highlight of the Caleb Williams touchdown pass with what it was 18 seconds to go on fourth down, which was absolutely incredible.
I thought that was the game of the weekend by far. The elements in Chicago, the snow. I mean, to just sit in your comfy, warm home on a Sunday night and watching that game.
There's something about a great Sunday night game where you just feel like, oh, okay, this is what I need to end my weekend.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my God, it's like 7 degrees outside in Chicago right now.
It extends the weekend even longer. When it's a good game on Sunday night, feels like I don't have to think about Monday morning because I am locked into this game.
Well, and then this particular weekend, knowing we were off on Monday for MLK Day, and you had a national championship as well, really just extended the weekend. No, I thought that was by far the best game of the weekend. It was a close ball game throughout the whole time, really. I mean, any team could have won it. That play, though, by Caleb Williams, that busted down play where it started at like the 14, and he ended up throwing it from like the 40 or the 45.
I think that the ball traveled 51 and a half yards on a 14-yard touchdown pass is what they measured it as.
I mean, just one of the most unlikely plays. The fact that he could even escape long enough to get the throw off was impressive. And then to have somebody completely wide open in the back corner of the end zone, you just don't see that very often. And then you go and look and see that in the box score that goes down as a 14-yard touchdown pass, and you go, that doesn't right.
Describe it, but
not at all.
I think we've learned that Caleb Williams, top pick for a reason, and he's got a future in this league. But what I said last week about the Bears turned out to be true, and they are the cardiac kids, the comeback kids. And I said, it's great. I mean, that will keep your season alive, but you cannot continue to live that way every week in the NFL. When you play with fire and you find yourself trailing in the fourth quarter every single game, it only takes once to get burned. And it looked like they were going to find a way to somehow escape again miraculously, but then they didn't. Caleb Williams threw the interception in overtime, and Matthew Stafford, who is as professional as a quarterback as you're going to find in the NFL, leads his team on the game-winning drive, and the thicker kicker Harrison Nevis knocks through the 42-yard field goal to give the Rams the 20-17 win.
He's a fascinating specimen to look at. Harrison
Nevis, the thicker kicker.
The thicker kicker.
Right.
I think they said he calls himself a thicker kicker because he looks like a lineman. He looks like a defensive lineman. I think he wears like number 90 something or 80 something, and he goes out there and just booted it perfectly, nailed it. Good
Similar to San Diego State's kicker this year, the hefty lefty Gabe Placencia, who might have a future in the NFL as well, was one of the top place kickers in college football this past year. Hey, they come in all shapes and sizes, but the Rams pull off the win, and now they get a Seahawks team rolling right through the 49ers. Now, I was not surprised by that outcome, really. I mean, the 49ers are so battered. Once they lost George Kittle, too many weapons gone, and as soon as Rashid Shaheed returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, you kind of
I was just going to say, I didn't watch a second of that game. I was focused on the basketball at that point, and when I saw they opened the game with a kickoff return, I'm like, no, that's curtains for the Niners.
It's really the matchup. It's like a quintessential NFL matchup, not just because they're division rivals, but you've got the team with the managing quarterback in Sam Darnold, who did a nice job, but, didn't do anything spectacular in that game.
Also didn't even know if he was going to play in that game.
Right. He was injured, but, Kenneth Walker had 3 touchdowns. They just have the better all-around team. The Seahawks, I think, do really in the entire NFL, probably have the best kind of all-around team. but the Rams have the better quarterback going into the game that can do more spectacular things. And if they need to put the game on Matthew Stafford's shoulders, they can, which keeps them, I think, dangerous and keeps them in this game on Sunday against the Seahawks, which is why it's going to be, I think, one of the more entertaining matchups that we've seen in an NFC championship game.
I'm thinking Seattle probably rolls them, is my guess.
You think so too?
Yeah. I just think they're just firing on all cylinders right now.
If they do, then they will roll the Patriots or the Broncos in the Super Bowl, and the Seattle Seahawks will win your Super Bowl title this year.
I would say I'm with you what you said in that last segment, though. I think the winner's coming out of the NFC.
I
think whoever wins that game will win the Super Bowl.
Also had the fallout from the weekend with the Bills letting Sean McDermott go as head coach after the divisional loss. Interesting dynamics in Buffalo. I don't know that. I mean, they have not gotten over the hump, obviously, but man, the consistent excellency is not maybe the right
Very
word.
good in
Very good in the seat. Yeah. I mean, 8 playoff appearances in 9 seasons, playoff wins in 6 straight years. It's not easy to win playoff games. And Sean McDermott has done it consistently, but has not gotten all the way, which is what they're looking for in Buffalo. The question is, can they find someone who is going to take them to the next level, or would have been better off giving Sean McDermott another bite at the apple going forward?
If I knew the answer, I wouldn't be here.
I
You know
guess
what
so.
I mean? I'd be running an NFL team. You don't know if they bring in whoever they bring in, and if they have more success next year, then it was a great decision, and if they don't, then it was probably a bad decision. I just don't know what you do.
Interviewing former Chargers coach Anthony Lynn this morning, and
That would be a
don't think he's the
downgrade.
answer. I don't think he's the answer. Who is the answer? I don't know if that it's out there. A couple of guys off the market. The Titans, of course, hiring Robert Saleh as their new head coach. I'm okay with that. Yes, it didn't go well with the Jets, but that was the Jets.
Seemed like he was going to get another crack.
I think you get your second chance, and a lot of guys learn from their first chance, and they're better off the second time around. Hey, Bill Belichick learned from his first chance in Cleveland, was much better the second time around in New England. It's the guys who okay, once you failed twice, the Josh McDaniels of the world, maybe you're just a good coordinator and you're not cut out to be a head coach. But I think Robert Saleh is deserving of a second chance. I think Tennessee is realizing that they made a mistake in firing Mike Vrabel, who has obviously gone on and shown that he is an excellent
Probably going to be in the
coach.
Super Bowl.
And so I don't know that they're going to get better from Robert Saleh than they would have gotten. And it's I think a warning to the Bills as well. Well, you saw what happened with the Titans. They let a good coach go. He went to a better organization and is having success.
Now, Vrabel didn't have as many opportunities to succeed that McDermott's had over the years, but I don't know. I feel like something had to change. If you're the Buffalo Bills, you had to do something, right? I mean, I guess you didn't have to, but it just felt like with everything that went on around the AFC, we talked about it a ton over the last few weeks with no Mahomes in the playoffs, no Lamar Jackson, no Joe Burrow, whoever's been in the way of Josh Allen.
They won a game. They went to overtime on the road. It came down to a catch, an interception. Which was it? I mean, they could have gone on. I'm
not arguing with you.
I just don't know.
I think it was just tough how it worked out, but you're like, this was our best chance. You feel like probably as a Bills fan, you're like, we got to do something. Is Josh Allen the problem?
They're moving into a new stadium, fresh start with a new coach. They promoted their general manager to become the new president of football operations, and that's part of the restructuring with the ownership situation and everything in Buffalo, and they want someone to take control. So he's going to hire a new coach.
I'm not saying Josh Allen was going to get moved this offseason, like he's the reason why, but he did not play very well against the Broncos. He had several turnovers. Like, you just feel like, God, if he doesn't throw those interceptions or the fumbles or whatever, he was having a really rough game. Now they got back in it, ended up losing in overtime, but you probably could have had a 2 to 3 possession lead.
But is that on Sean McDermott?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
Josh Allen's going to have a bad game every once in a while. Still the best quarterback probably in the NFL overall. We'll see. The Dolphins also hired Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their new head coach. Don't know a ton about him. And the new news this morning, ESPN reporting that the Chargers are set to hire Mike McDaniel as their new offensive coordinator, the former Dolphins coach, coming to Los Angeles, which is an interesting hire. I like Mike McDaniel. The problem is I don't know what kind of a fit with Jim Harbaugh. I mean, you got two weird dudes.
Two totally differently weird.
They're different.
dudes.
They're weird, different in different ways, though.
Yeah.
And maybe it's one of those like genius odd couple pairings, Ben and Woods, or maybe it's like those guys are just going to be like screaming at each other after like 5 minutes because
it's almost like they go on and have massive success together, or they don't make it 6 months.
You know, McDaniel's not necessarily like tough football guy like Jim Harbaugh is, who wants to run the ball and smash mouth. And
no, he looks like a guy that
wants
DJs at night and works at a dispensary by day.
And he wants to kind of outthink you and do the outside in sort of thing. And are they going to be able to coexist and make it work? I don't know. It's either genius or absolutely disastrous, I think, this pairing between Harbaugh and McDaniel.
No, I know which one I'm pulling for between those two options.
All right, let's right here. Do you want to talk about the college football playoff now, or do you want to take a break?
We can talk about it for a couple of minutes because I do know we are going to also talk more about that game.
True. Don't do this. That's a good idea. So we can use that as a segue just to share a few quick thoughts on Monday night's win by Indiana over Miami, which was, I thought, one of the more memorable college football playoff championships that we've seen. I'll admit I was kind of rooting for Indiana, the story.
Oh yeah.
I think most of us were.
I was going to be happy either way. I felt I just no dog in the hunt, didn't bet on the game. Like just watching it, I go, I mean, look, this is a team in Miami that nobody said belongs to be there. They had no business being in the playoffs, and then they get to end up hosting the national championship. And you start hearing some of the stories that ESPN was talking about, like, oh, this defensive player texts his late father like before every game, and you're like, I'm rooting for that kid now. And then obviously the Indiana story, if they were to win, I'm like, how do you not feel good about that outcome as well?
Fernando Mendoza, I mean, he lived up to all the hype as the Heisman Trophy winner. They don't always get it right, but this year the Heisman voters were justified in the end. The guy stepped up with the fourth down, the 12-yard touchdown run, not his forte, but
that's going to live in lore.
Such a bold decision by Curt Cignetti to go for it after, was going to kick the field goal, called the timeout.
Was it 4th and 5?
Yeah, 4th and 5 or so from the 12-yard line. And then they call that play where clearly the designed run up the middle and just like.
But hoping for 5 or 6, like hoping for the first down, and he just barrels his way in.
Yeah, and then, hits off one guy, keeps his balance.
Spins.
Helicopters into the end zone like John Elway in the Super Bowl here in San Diego. I mean, it was one of the more memorable college football plays of my lifetime and gave them that 10-point lead. Miami never stopped. I mean, Sharp and Fletcher, even Carson Beck, who obviously wasn't the better quarterback in that game, but gave him every chance to come back and had the ball at the end down 6. It was 27-21. I think he was kind of baited into that last interception by Jamari Sharp. That was pretty.
He didn't look like he was on the same page with his wide receivers that entire drive. There was another play where wide receiver went right, but the ball was thrown on the left, and they kind of looked at each other like, wait, they were not on the same page. I saw it looked so loud there. I mean, both quarterbacks having to, hold their helmet up to their ears and trying to hear the play calls. Like that had to have been just an unbelievable environment. I saw tickets were like $4,000 just to get in. Just to get in. I mean, unbelievable.
And the fact that it really was more of an Indiana crowd.
Yeah.
You could hear it watching the game. In Miami, it was more of an Indiana crowd. Was pretty awesome to see. I think the big question, and the one that we'll continue to discuss, is the new form of college football with the transfer portal and NIL. It really opened the door to Indiana to be able to do this. It opened the door to one of the best stories in college football in this century. It opened the door to a phenomenal playoff. I mean, this was the best playoff, probably top to bottom, that maybe we've ever had.
Yeah.
And none of that happens without the NIL and the transfer portal. But we all hate NIL and the transfer portal at the same time. It's a real dilemma.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
I can't say that. I can't just sit here and say I hate it.
Most people do.
I think it's a good thing that the players are able to get their money. I think coaches have been doing what players are now doing forever, and nobody batted an eye at that. Coaches could sign a 6-year contract and be like, actually, I'm going to leave after 1 year. I can go get more money. Why is it a problem for the players to do that?
I don't care about them. I'm happy for players to get the money. I think what people don't like is the transferring every year, like free agency year after year. Even professional football, they sign multi-year contracts where they have to stick around for more than 1 or 2 seasons. Like now
Then make it a 2. If they want to make a 2-year commitment
Sure.
per transfer or something, fine.
That something needs to change in terms of, and I know college football is never pro football. You're always going to have tons of turnover. Every team's a new team, so it doesn't feel quite
right.
like, the same sort of thing. You're not going to have the same quarterback for 14 years, like, Phillip Rivers in San Diego or Tom Brady in New England. But it would be nice to have the same team for, or a couple of the same guys for 2 or even 3 seasons that you can get to know and root for more than 3 or 4 months. Like, it's August. Let's learn about our team. And then by the time December rolls around, okay, they're gone. We got a whole new team coming in next year.
I think it's just tough if you're watching it all through the lenses of like an SDSU fan or a Mountain West fan of a Mountain West school, because we're the ones that are
feeding the big schools.
Exactly. We're getting screwed over.
And the group of 5, the San Diego States of the world, are going to be the big losers.
But if you're a fan of any of the playoff teams, the Blue Bloods, the usual suspects, you're going, dang, we were close this last year. Oh, well. 5 players are going to end up leaving the offense to go to the draft. We'll just go out and get new ones. I think it helps you if you're a fan of those schools. The best solution, the one that kind of works for everybody, is some sort of like salary cap. They tried to do it. They can't get it legally enforced. It's supposed to be $22 million, which was perfect because, the San Diego States of the world are never going to get there, but they can get a few million and there still be kind of a separation. But right now you've got schools spending way, way more than that no team like San Diego State could ever compete with. And I'd be more in favor of them, honestly, like just completely dropping a bomb on college football in and of itself and just being like, all right, we're going to have like 3 conferences and they're going to be Division 1A, and everybody else, all the group of 5 schools, like you're playing for another championship entirely because it's not the same sport.
Keep the opportunity for NIL, give the players the opportunity to even transfer, but also, have some incentives for, keeping some teams together, whether it's multi-year NIL deals, and then have an economic structure that at least kind of narrows the gap between the haves and the have-nots. So you can have
I don't think it's possible.
I know.
It's not possible. Watch San Diego State versus Wyoming at noon on a Saturday on the Jersey Mike's app, and then flip over to like ABC and watch A&M versus Alabama and tell me you're watching the same sport.
It's not really.
You're not. You're not.
All right, let's take a time out. When we come back, we will stick with the college football playoff for one of our Don't Do This stories. Plus, if you're going to release a statement about firing your head coach, might want to run it through Grammarly or one of those apps.
Or, maybe just read it once
before you send it to the media. We'll get to that coming up next. Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I have a brand new sponsor I want to tell you about. We spent a lot of time talking about preparation in sports, game plans, adjustments, knowing what could go wrong. But a lot of people head into retirement without anything close to that kind of plan. Between inflation, rising healthcare costs, market volatility, and just the cost of living here in San Diego, it's no surprise retirement is stressful. That's why Trajan Wealth exists. TRAJAN Wealth.com. Trajan Wealth works with people who want clarity instead of guesswork. Their fiduciary advisors help build personalized retirement and investment strategies based on your goals and your comfort level, because one size never fits all. They're local too, with offices in Carlsbad and Del Mar. I met with my Trajan representative yesterday, so they understand what it really costs to live and retire here. If you've ever thought about getting a second opinion, that's an easy place to start. You can learn more at TRAJANwealth.com. You can also just pick up the phone, call 619-367-0207. That's 619-367-0207. And when you're ready, everything starts at TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth, plan smarter, dream bigger. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth LLC, SEC registered investment advisor. Client paid advertisement. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Don't Do This, brought to you by Dixie Line Lumber and Home Centers, helping San Diego homeowners and contractors fix it, build it, and enjoy it. And we'll begin DDT this morning at the College Football National Championship game on Monday. And I'll have to admit, this story confused me a bit. So during the fourth quarter, with Miami trailing by 10, under 7 minutes left in the game, the ESPN production crew did their normal, shots of fans in the crowd. They had a lot of close-up shots of different fans, a lot of emotion, fans with hands on their heads and
covering their
mouth, like, oh no, what's happening? Yeah, you get that all the time. You're at a public sporting event that's on television. You have no expectation of privacy. Well, one of the fans that they happened to catch, Miami fan, and her, I believe, stage name is Abella Danger. Now, I do not know Miss Abella, but apparently she is a fairly well-known adult film actress. I have no problem with her being there at the game. She is a lifelong Miami fan, went to the school, is not there to promote herself, is just there, I think, as a legitimate Miami football fan. But apparently she was upset over being put on ESPN's cameras, saying, quote, "I would give anything in the world to not have had ESPN film me. I am so deeply sorry to anyone I offended with my attendance at the game." First of all, why would anybody be offended by a Miami fan going to watch a Miami game? I don't get that. That's a DDT. Secondly, though, why would you be upset about being put on camera when your livelihood is, I'm one to talk. We're on the air. We are self-promotionalists. No one's going to promote us unless we promote ourselves. She's in a business where, self-promotion is big. I would think that appearing on ESPN national camera can do nothing but good things for her career.
I would agree with that.
I'm a little confused as to the reaction to this story and why anybody on either side would be up in arms about ESPN showing a shot of a lovely Miami Hurricanes fan. It doesn't really matter what she does in her professional career. She was at the game as a fan, and that should be that. And now it's a story, and I don't understand why. Paulie, are you familiar with Bella Danger?
Yes.
You are.
Yeah. Recognized her pretty much
You're
right away
you're
as soon as the
admitting
TV.
this.
Yeah, I'm not a coward like you and saying apparently she's I believe her stage name is Bella Danger. She was the number one person on a certain website that's like the number 2 or 3 website in the world, and we're all gonna act like nobody knows who she is. Okay. I also agree. I thought it was kind of weird that she was not just upset that she was featured on the camera. I don't know.
He said, I wish I could be any other student supporting my team.
Yeah.
Is
She's
she unhappy with her life choices? I don't know.
I don't know. I've never met her.
Seems like a successful, smart person. Someone in the chat says she's studying. She went back to Miami to study to get a law degree, perhaps. Good for her.
I don't know if she graduated from Miami. I believe she did go there. She's been photographed she's been in like the background of basketball games, Miami Heat games. Like she's a big Miami girl. There's no surprise at all that she was there when Miami was hosting the national championship that they're playing
It's
in.
fine. And I have no problem. I mean, if you're at the game, no one can. ESPN can put you on. You can be sitting in the nosebleeds. They can put you on TV
Sure.
if you're at that game. You have a ticket. It's on the back of the ticket. You ever read the back of your ticket? There's a whole lot of legalese.
I haven't had an actual
I guess that's
ticket
true.
in
But when you
15
used to
years.
have the actual tickets, and my guess is somewhere on your online ticket, there's a whole bunch of legalese about your image,
Right.
potentially being broadcast, you're at, a stadium, televised event, blah, 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 blah. And this ticket, absolves whatever of life. I mean, it's all there. It's a weird story to me.
I saw a lot of memes after that game, after that moment of, there's a lot of uncomfortable boyfriends and husbands watching this game with their wife right now.
Interesting. Paulie?
Yeah, next up, you teased it. If you're going to fire your head coach, you're going to eventually put out a statement, usually on the social media with the official letterhead of your team and everything. And I just thought it was interesting that you made it a whole 5 words. If you're the Buffalo Bills, you made it 5 words before you ran into your first typo. So the Bills,
Is it
after
a typo or is someone just dumb? There's a difference.
I guess you're right.
There's
You're
a
right.
difference.
You're right. It was an error. I think somebody probably thought they were doing the right thing.
Right. That's what I think too.
The error is that nobody read this. Nobody could see this. So if I pull it up here on our stream, the Buffalo Bills announced that Sean McDermott has been relieved of his duties as head coach.
That's the headline.
That is your headline. And then it says below, quote, Sean has done an admirable job of leading our football team for the past 9 seasons. And
An
I
admirable
stopped
job.
right there. I just stopped after that one sentence. I go, he's done an admirable job.
Well, it is better than a captain job or a lieutenant job.
Sure.
It's an admiral job.
Admiral.
I think the word you're looking for, Buffalo Bills PR, is admirable. Like admirable. Admirable.
Admirable.
Not an admiral job.
Sean has done an admirable job.
There's
For the last
they have
9
a
years.
staff that's supposed to take care of these things. To no words.
Yeah. That's pretty bad. It wasn't buried either, like in the 4th paragraph. A simple typo. I mean, it is a simple mistake,
It's in the
but it's in the
5 words.
first sentence. I mean, Jesus, guys. It's almost like, yeah, you shouldn't have fired him, actually.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can't look worse in the firing statement than use
Like,
the wrong word. in
I
the
got to
first
imagine.
sentence.
I'm sure there's a portion of the Bills fan base that was like, good, it's time to move on. This guy sucks or whatever. But I'm going to guess the majority of fans were probably a little bit blindsided by that. And then when you see Admiral, you're like, you guys are a joke. What are we doing here?
All right, finally, some do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
Well, congratulations again to Coach Kurt Signetti, not only on his national championship, but the spoils that go along with it. So I guess last week he shouted out one of the local breweries when asked how would you famously dour Coach Signetti. Well, how are you going to celebrate? And he mentioned definitely will celebrate by cracking an Upland Brewing beer. Well, Upland appreciated the unsolicited mention, and afterwards, when Indiana won their national title, they have provided Coach Cignetti with beer for life. I don't know exactly what that means, but Upland Brewing Company is going to provide Coach Kurt Cignetti with however many beers he needs for the rest of his life. Just call and they will provide, which is a nice little, it's a bit of payola, I guess, plugola,
Of course.
from Coach Cignetti, but you know what? Hey, it works for him. He's the coach. Not going to have to buy his own drinks in the state of Indiana. Wasn't ever going to have to
I was
ever
gonna
again.
say,
Now even when he's at home, he's got his drinks paid for. That's nice. You go out, someone's going to pick, Coach Cignetti, buy him a drink. Now he's at home. He's like, Upland Brewing Company, going to buy me my own drinks at home. And that's Don't and Do This for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, we'll talk a little Padres. Is there still a move up A.J. Preller's sleeve before the start of spring training? We'll chat with our friend Craig Elston. Padres Hot Tub Podcast coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Okay, player. This is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
So you're really going to sit here and tell me you don't know who a Bella Danger is?
I actually don't.
You're going to look at me in the face and lie right to my face?
Probably the names don't really mean that much. Sorry. Padres have been fairly quiet for a while again, but could there still be a move in A.J. Preller's near future? Craig Elston is standing by. The Padres Hot Tub Podcast. We'll chat with our buddy Craig right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This traffic report is brought to you by San Diego law firm fighting for your sexual harassment rights at SDLF.com. It's broken furniture that is slowing you down northbound on the 5 at Birmingham Drive, and then on the southbound side at Cash. Right at National Avenue is off on the shoulder. The 163 southbound at Carney Villa Road, there's another accident. Sometimes it's called a joke, a compliment, a hand that stays too long. If it's happening at work, you don't have to face it alone. San Diego law firm will help you fight against sexual harassment. Contact them at SDLF.com. That's SDLF.com. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, joining us right now on our David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. Hi, Craig Elston. It is good to see you. It's been a while. Appreciate you joining us this morning. Sorry, Woods couldn't make it. He is actually feeling worse than I am.
You know how much I hate listening to sick people on the radio. You don't sound that bad.
No, I've never had. It was nothing in the chest. It was all below the midsection, unfortunately.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Like Woods actually sounds
He
terrible.
sounds awful.
He's like, hello, I think I can make it in tomorrow.
Like, please don't. I am simply 13 pounds lighter from 3 days ago, which is
my God,
which is a problem in and of itself. But feel pretty good this morning and ready to talk a little Padres baseball. As I said, it's been quiet, but my contention is that A.J. Preller is now biding his time and waiting for, and I don't know if there's a specific target that he's looking at or if it's maybe like a grouping of 3 or 4 pitchers that kind of circling around, and like Nick Pivetta last offseason, waiting for someone to kind of get disillusioned with their own market and ready to sign a deal that the Padres feel is a little more team friendly to add to starting pitching depth, like right before or right after the start of spring training.
Yeah, it's the rhythm we've gotten used to the last 3 years, right? Ever since Peter Seidler's died. It's been, let's wait and let's go to the bargain bin sometime around February, March. Let's find the guy who fell through the cracks. Let's identify our $1 million lottery ticket players, and let's go to town. And that's what they're going to do again. And when you've made as many fundamental trades as the Padres have to build as much of a core as they have, you can do this. And I know it leads to really frustrating winters, watching the Dodgers pluck the number one guy off the market each and every year, watching, Arizona retool or the Giants retool or the Cubs sign a lot of guys. And you go, man, are we falling back? Well, it's really hard to just keep going back to your garage and looking at the Mercedes that is Machado and the Lamborghini that is Tatis, and the Bentley that is Bogarts. But that's kind of what we're left with as Padres fans is, remember all the nice stuff we have? Well, we still have that. And we're going to try and add to, the margins here, there, and everywhere. And to be honest, they need a first baseman, a starting pitcher, maybe a depth guy, a depth swingman type pitcher. And you've got yourself a team. So I'm not as worried as some Padres fans. I feel like this is what we're starting to get conditioned to, is just the long wait. And after I hear your guys' fantasy camp shows, then I know there will still be no more action. And then we'll get to your spring training shows, and I'll know there still will be no action. And then after that, I'll wait for Paul to mention a Jeff Passan tweet or something.
Now, Michael King, I don't want to discount the signing of Michael King was a big move, and that was important. And then Nick Pivetta wasn't a bargain basement signing. I mean, it was structured in a way that the Padres did not pay a lot last year, but he ended up being the top of the rotation pitcher. And I do think there are some guys that are still out there that could end up being Nick Pivetta light or Nick Pivetta like next year, on a good deal for the San Diego Padres. Maybe a Lucas Giolito in San Diego. You just never know. Once they get in Ruben Niebla's hands, there are guys that could still thrive here and put together a good season for the Padres.
Oh, I agree. And you're not looking for the top of the rotation because you've got that. You signed Michael King. You've got Nick Pivetta for another year. You've got Joe Musgrove coming back. And I do think a lot of people are kind of almost discounting what Joe Musgrove might bring this year. Coming back from injury, but like that injury was a while ago. He's missed a good 16, 17 months now, right? So he should be all the way back from Tommy John and ready to contribute to the Padres in 2026. So I agree. It's just an annoying holding pattern. But I think over 3 years, we're starting to get accustomed to this. And of course, hovering over it all, AJ has still not signed a contract extension. I liked what AJ Cassavell wrote last week on Reddit, which is that let's look at opening day and let's just kind of take that as a red line. And if AJ doesn't have a deal by opening day, AJ's probably gone, y'all. Like, if he doesn't have it by opening day, he is now officially a lame duck GM who has certainly been spending the last months figuring out, well, if not Padres, where could I go? I mean, it was brought up on Padres Hot Tub this past week, but Brian Cashman has been the Yankees GM for a very, very, very long time, since the 90s. And were he to step back or maybe step up to Pobo?
Wow.
You don't think that the Yankees cash and Preller's zeal would be a fit? I think it would be an obvious fit for a lifelong New Yorker.
I'll push back and say I don't think AJ Preller needs to be working under anybody. If he's going to go somewhere else, it should be as Pobo and not as a right-hand man to another ultimate decision maker. I can't even imagine necessarily AJ Preller not having full decision-making command somewhere. Like, that would be tough. At that point, no, he's had the full power in San Diego for a while now, and I don't think he needs to take a step back.
I think the only kind of place he would do so is
maybe New York.
Like the New York Yankees. Just that team, that one team. The Mets are too new into their current GM to want to make a move like that. And I'm not trying to push AJ Preller out of town. I'm just saying, look at opening day as a red line. And, then furthermore, what's going on with the sale of the team? Probably nothing is going on with the sale of the team. But that is a cloud that's in the background. Is it affecting things? It doesn't seem like it so far. So we wait and see, as we are wont to do here in Padre Land.
I'm gonna push back just a little bit and say, give me 2 weeks into the season. AJ Preller is so focused, on the offseason moves that once he gets his team together, I can see him then saying, okay, let's sit down and get this done And it may take, a week, like Jackson Merrill's contract extension didn't it come like a week into the season last year? I can see something like that for AJ. So I'm not going to say opening day is my red line. If we get to May and nothing's happened, then I will even start entertaining the thoughts that AJ could be gone. But I'll give it a couple of more weeks. We got Craig Elston with us here. I keep hearing the Padres are in the Freddie Peralta trade sweepstakes with the Brewers. On one sense, it makes sense because he's affordable, $8 million. Padres need pitching, and they've been known to pull off trades, including with the Brewers. But I just do not see how they can fit together with a package when there would be so many teams that would probably be able and willing to offer more in prospect capital or major league ready pitching to the Brewers than the Padres would be able to.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with Ethan Salas, and then it would progress to who else do you have
Cash
in your farm
Mayfield.
system? Yeah, we want them all.
Right.
Yeah.
And that might not be enough if another team just goes crazy and goes, no, we want to win this year and we want Freddie Peralta. They can outbid the Padres.
Here's a very sad but true thing. If LA chooses to, they can get any player in Major League Baseball. So they've never spent their prospect resources. They've got prospect resources better than any other team in the league. If they want Freddie Peralta, they can have Freddie Peralta. They can easily put together a machine, a trade that the trade machine.
Yeah, if they want Tarek Skubal, they can get Tarek Skubal. Freddie Peralta would be their cheaper choice.
Well, yeah, good point. But I don't believe one word of it. It's two Hector Gomez tweets. Hector Gomez has been wrong like probably 10 times more than he's been right about the San Diego Padres. He's almost always wrong. And I look at these things as what agents and other GMs do to try and influence the public market via the social media world and via reporters. Always throw AJ's name in there because why not? AJ's crazy. So anyone else around the country can believe, oh, yeah, the Padres are hard in on Freddie Peralta. Maybe we need to raise our price. But I think anyone who does due diligence knows the Padres, cupboard of minor league guys is almost empty. And frankly, if AJ's going, I'll tie in our previous conversation. If AJ Preller actually trades for Freddie Peralta, I will truly believe he's in his last year as Padres GM because it would be an absolute sell the world. Who cares? 2026 or bust. We've got Freddie Peralta and we have truly emptied our minor leagues. There's no one left. So that would make me go, oh, all right, AJ. But I don't believe it. I think we're waiting for, Nick Martinez or Lucas Giolito.
Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios, we know how. Talking to Craig Elston. Do you put any stock in the Evan Drellich piece that the owners have become coalesced after the Kyle Tucker signing with the Dodgers, that they are going to press hard for a salary cap, which a lot of people think means a long work stoppage going into next season? Do you believe the smoke that we are hearing right now in terms of the labor, the dire situation of labor?
I think it's the Dodgers and the Mets versus everybody. I think it's two teams that are willing to spend $400+ million on their annual payroll against teams that are spending a quarter of that or less. Kyle Tucker doesn't need to be the galvanizing factor. I mean, it's just another log on the fire to me. But this is my fun stat, Ben, about that. $240 million. But because the Dodgers are way over the last threshold, it's 110% tax. That's $264 million. So if you add it up, the Dodgers could, because Kyle Tucker could opt out, but the Dodgers could spend more on one guy for 4 years than Mohamed Mansour spent to buy SDFC. $500 million. $500 million gets you an MLS team, or it gets you 4 years of one outfielder in LA's outfield. And they're like, cool, let's do it.
Amazing. Craig, really appreciate it as always. Sockers, I know it's been a little up and down season for you guys. I know they want to get on track here, get on a little run.
Well, I'll tell you what's been going on is the league let AI write the schedule this year. And AI stands for always inept, because AI has never gotten up at 3:30 to drive to the airport. AI has never played a game on a Saturday night and then taken an 8-hour bus ride to get to the next game on a Sunday day. But all these things have happened to the Sockers in the last 3 weeks, who tomorrow will play up in Ontario against Empire. Then they will board their 5th cross-country flight in the last 3 weeks to fly to Baltimore and play on Saturday. And that will end a 6-match, 20-day, all across the country road trip, which is just dumb.
I'm sick of
Extenuating
Greg making all these
circumstances.
excuses
I know.
for these athletes.
Yeah,
They got a big
exactly.
fancy charter plane, obviously. Like they're going to be
Right.
flying in style.
Yeah, that Southwest charter plane to the Holiday Inn Express.
Craig,
You know,
appreciate
so-
it. As always, we will talk to you hopefully next week.
All right, take care, boys. See you on Monday.
Craig Elston on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Coming up in our 8 o'clock hour, we'll play a little real or fake with no Woods here. Chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas. Much more still to come. Stay tuned. Ben and Woods on a Wednesday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Halfway home on a Ben and Woods Wednesday that feels a lot like a Ben and Woods Monday here on 97.3 The Fan. 2/3 of us finally back in studio, ready
It's been
for
such a weird start to the year.
Well, it's hey, it's a short week now for us, Polly.
it already was.
We're already halfway here, and now it's Wednesday. We just got a couple of days left. We are, of course, missing our beloved colleague Stephen Woods. Remains under the weather. I'm honestly surprised that I rallied as much as I have. I feel pretty good this morning.
You sound good. You look like you feel okay.
Yeah, I got color back. I
was nervous this morning. Even when I walked in and said hello, you looked okay. You sounded okay. And I know, like you said, you're like, everything it's a stomach issue. Like I don't have a fever or a sore throat, none of that. But I was like, man, you had to have been so weak after that weekend that you had. I go, I don't know. We're going to get to like 8 o'clock. And I was a little concerned if you were going to be able to make it all 4
I don't know
hours.
if you can get dysentery for 3 days, but that's pretty much like, I think what I had. It seems to have passed, and I'm back amongst the living, and we're hoping that Woodsy will be able to rejoin us soon. But guess who is going to make a little surprise appearance via the telephone? Safe distance is one and only Stephen Woods with us here on 97.3 The Fan. Good morning, Woodsy. How are you feeling?
Good morning, gentlemen. I am much, much better. Not probably not near 100% yet. I get really winded talking for more than like 30 seconds at a time, which is great when you're a broadcaster. But no, I woke up this morning and I go, I feel pretty good. I feel okay. And I talked a little bit and I go, okay, I think I can do this. And I got out of bed and I went into the bathroom and I looked at the clock and it said 5:45. And I go, nope, I think I'll just text the fellas at the table.
Yeah, I texted you guys at like 4:45 and was like, how we feeling today, boys? And when you didn't respond, we go, oh yeah, he's definitely out today.
You sounded so bad the last couple of days.
Oh, man.
I mean, I thought there was very little chance that you were going to be able to make it in today. And I'm glad you're at least taking another day. But people asked, I mean, did we infect each other during fantasy camp? And I don't think that's the truth because we have totally different symptoms.
I mean, it's so rare that both of us just get knocked out. I get this about once a year, and I was almost certain that it was strep. And I spent yesterday going to various doctors around the county. I can explain some of that hopefully tomorrow when I come back. But, they tested me for strep, negative, tested me for flu, negative, not COVID. It's just like an upper respiratory, but like it knocked me out. Like every bone in my body was achy. Like I was like, oh my God, this is the worst. And got on some meds, some cough. They gave me like a prescription for some coughing, and they gave me an inhaler as well. And, I got up, I like helped with the breakfast with the kids. I just took Bo to school, which is great because I've never gotten to take Bo to school. And I got to do that the last 2 days. And I'll go back right now, crawl back into bed and sleep until, it's time to go get them. But yeah, I love having kids so much. But when you are sick having kids, oh my God, man, it has been like, it's been really, really a gnarly few days. I'm dying to get back there with the tier ones and you guys, of course. But you guys sound awesome. I caught some of the open. You guys sound great. Like I'm sitting here going, all right, well, they don't need me back.
The story of me nearly calling 911 from a toilet at the Las Vegas airport.
Dude, so I missed. All I heard was like you saying, like, I just have to get on the plane. Like, I just got to get through this flight. And I don't know how you did it, but I sympathize. And I've been there before for different reasons from Vegas coming home. But I've definitely been there and just like, I just got to get to my house. Like, I'll do anything. I'll pinch it, whatever I have to do. Like,
you don't know if you believe in a higher power, but you start making deals. Like, please, please, if
fine.
I can just make it, just let me make it home. Let me make it home, please.
I'll sum it up for you shortly here, Woodsy. He got to the lounge at the airport and he goes, I had to get in there really quickly. Let's just say that. And they're like, all right, so we're looking at about a 15-minute wait. We'll get you in. And he finally gets in there and just like He said he passed out on the toilet.
I think I passed out for like 30 seconds, and then I felt better for
It's
some reason. I
unbelievable.
don't know.
And then I'm just sitting here thinking about the person that had the seat, full plane, by the way, the person that had the seat next to him, and they just see this like sweaty,
shivering,
sick,
Oh.
6'4" guy leaning up against the window and just like, "Ugh." And this
Just
person's
green.
going like,
I
oh
had
my
a fairly
God.
early boarding. I was in an A group, so I was probably like the 6th or 7th on the row to the left. And I've got to imagine like everyone got on the plane, every seat, and like the last person who got on the plane ends up sitting next to me at the end.
God.
Oh man. I mean, like I heard you guys talking about that, and then got up and started helping with like breakfast and stuff, which I've seen now what my wife goes through every morning dealing with these two absolute divas in the morning. I don't know where they get it from. And I'm sitting there going, this is what it's like every day. And she's like, yeah, I told you. I'm like, this is a nightmare. Like, I can't wait to get back to work. Oh my gosh. This smoothie doesn't taste like Jamba Juice. These eggs aren't the right way. And I'm like, you guys are out of your mind. So I'm like screaming at the kids. I can barely raise my voice. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, eat your breakfast. You're lucky to get anything. Like, it's just crazy. It was absolutely, I was like, this is how it is every day. She's like, yeah, every single day.
You have to do about 12 years worth of fathering in 2 mornings here to try to change their entire attitudes in the morning.
Literally, it was terrible. But I listened to you guys. You guys sounded so good, and I thought, oh man, the Odyssey bean counters are like, I think we can make it work with just Ben and Paul. So I need you guys to fumble a little bit.
Oh, don't worry, it's coming here.
Yeah.
It's coming. I've used most of my material in the first 2 hours and 8 minutes of our program today, so we will gladly take you back as soon as you're ready.
I will be there tomorrow, rain or shine, for real. Like I hate missing shows. I hate not being there with you guys. There's so much to talk about, football and everything else that was going on. The good thing about being sick is that I got to watch every single game. I mean, every playoff game, the college game. I got to see every play of every game. I mean, I just literally I got out of bed maybe once a day. I went to the kids' basketball games, which I wasn't feeling terrible then. It was right after the kids' basketball games on Saturday that I was like, no, this is terrible. I had a meeting on Monday. I went to the card shop on Sunday. I literally left the house like once a day. And that's kind of what I've done the last 2 days too, just to take the kids to school and pick them up because, life goes on. But oh my God, man, and at the doctor's office yesterday, she's like, literally the whole county is here. I went to CVS to get my prescription. It was 65 deep. I was like, this is unbelievable. The whole county is sick right now.
Dude,
So,
once we were off yesterday, I got like 5 notes from people that were also at fantasy camp even. And they were like, dude, as soon as I got home, like I'm feeling it too. So very likely that you could have picked up something there. I don't know, man, but there is definitely something going around.
It's I called it when we got back, I called it the Arizona black lung, and it has really, really spawned. But luckily, like no fever or anything like that, just really achy and all that. But man, I'm so fired up to get back. We have there's a ton of stuff coming up that's going to be so fun. But I miss you guys. I miss the tier ones, and just wanted to say hello. And I'm going to crawl back into bed here. I've got an unbelievable story of an appointment I had to go to yesterday. That is just, you guys are really going to enjoy this.
Can't wait for it, my friend. Quick sports take before you go, just because I have to ask. You watched the college football championship game. I thought one of the epic playoffs of our lifetime. Clearly, Miami belonged. I mean, they gave Indiana everything they could handle. Indiana, I think, one of the best teams we've seen this century. If Miami belonged, then Notre Dame clearly belonged in the playoff as well. Correct?
Yeah, I thought so over Alabama, certainly.
Yeah. I mean, I would have liked to have seen it now. Because I think Notre Dame could have hung with Miami, and if they could have hung with Miami, maybe they could have hung with Indiana. It would have been a more interesting playoff with the Fighting Irish in it than it would have been without it. And I think that was the one big mistake ultimately that the College Football Playoff Committee made, leaving Notre Dame out. I think we'll never kind of know how it would have played out with them in the tournament.
No, and I thought Coach Freeman accepting the olive branch to go on ESPN was a real solid move by them and very savvy. And I thought he did a great job in the pregame. I mean, it was just so savvy. Like, I wouldn't have done it. You know, if I was the head coach, I would have been like, absolutely not. But I'm a petty turd. He's obviously, he's smarter than that, and they're smarter than that. So when he went on and was talking about it, but I'll tell you, I mean, Cignetti's an incredible coach, but the last coach to beat him is Coach Freeman. You know, so like that's the last team to beat that really, really exceptional IU team, and you saw the difference, man, in how they played, and honestly, like. Miami certainly belongs, but you saw so many weird non-calls that like Miami when they went up into the chin of Mendoza, like that wasn't called. There was a couple of blatant penalties that weren't called on Miami, and it's like, man, you just kind of knew it was going to boil over. And Carson Beck, they were talking about it. He's really been efficient, but everyone was kind of waiting for that one bad throw. He got away with a couple. And then the one that just killed him at the end, you know, what was like his 40-second start or something in college football is insane. But I thought it was such a great game. I mean, you know, down to the last play was incredible. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And I was happy for IU.
Well, Woods, we'll have plenty to talk about when you come back. I hope it's tomorrow, but make sure you're feeling a lot better, and we will see you soon. Thank you for calling in.
Love you guys. Be well.
See you, buddy.
The great Stephen Woods on our David P. Shapiro fan hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys, helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Just to add to that, because the turnover at the end of the game, the interception that decided it, was the only turnover of the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that Curt Cignetti, and I don't know how he did it, but the ball security that Indiana displayed, not just in the national championship, but all season. The only fumble they had was in the first half of their first game.
Wow.
That's like impossible.
Just doesn't happen.
Football is in a weird oblong shape, and you got 11 defensive guys on the other team who are constantly trying to punch it and slap at it and knock it down. And to not fumble a ball for an entire season, essentially, after just one fumble early. They had that one where Mendoza lost it for a second and got it back. But to me, I mean, ball security is the biggest name of the game in football. And Indiana somehow mastered it this year. And I don't know what Cignetti and his coaching staff do to make sure. I mean, you have the drills where, you batter them with the foam sticks as they're coming in. Right. And they all the teams do that, though. It's not like some secret thing. They all practice ball security. How did the Indiana Hoosiers master it the way that they did this year? That, to me, was the biggest secret of Indiana football.
Yeah, it hadn't really settled in with me until you just said it there talking to Woods. You said, this is probably one of the, if not the best college football team we've seen this century. And I go, yeah, I mean, I think you get a little caught up when you play the whole Cinderella story out over the last couple of years and from where they were to where they are now. But if you just looked at this season in particular, just this one season, it's got to be one of the greatest single seasons in college football
there
history.
There were some close games. The Iowa game, obviously they could have lost the national championship game, the Penn State game. That it's football. It's designed to be close at the end. They had so many blowouts in the playoffs against good teams that they obliterated in the first couple of rounds of the playoffs. You can't really compare a 2026 college football team to an Alabama great team. It's apples and oranges.
The way they were in control,
to some extent.
The way they were in control against Ohio State, I go, they're winning the national championship.
I thought so too.
I'm not saying that was the national championship, but the way that I don't remember the exact score, but I feel like they were in control pretty much start to finish against Ohio State. And that's when they jumped them and took over number one. Like, I just thought, this is Indiana's tournament to lose at this point.
And I think one of the most fascinating stats, and this is just kind of one of those quirks that I love in particular, Indiana now the most recent team in college football to go undefeated in a season, going 16-0. It's become more and more rare. You get a lot of one-loss national champions, but occasionally it happens in football. You know the last college basketball team to go undefeated in an entire season? Indiana Hoosiers, 50 years ago in 1976. No one has done it. So they are actually
like a Duke or a North Carolina.
I know. They're now the last schools in both football and basketball to complete a perfect season. I don't know if it'll ever happen again in basketball. What Arizona and maybe one or two are the last
What is
one.
that?
It's just
We're
so
looking at, like,
impossible now.
In basketball, that's about like 37, 38 wins.
games, yeah, to go all the way through the NCAA tournament.
God.
But no one's done it since Bobby Knight's 1976 team. And now Indiana football and basketball, the most recent undefeated seasons in big-time
Good for
Division
them,
I
man.
college sports.
I only know one Indiana fan, and it's our buddy Ryan Phillips. I know he was elated.
I don't know how much he cared about football until the last couple of years.
Why would he? Why would he?
Why not? I mean, what
To see the shots of the field house, like everybody back in Indiana watching the game in the basketball arena, and I'm just like, man, like they never that it was honestly it's not a huge, it's a pretty big step, but it felt like watching a school like San Diego State finally win something.
Yes, and that I was going to make the same comparison because you were there as a student when San Diego State became relevant in college basketball. And it is one of the best feelings as a sports fan when your team goes from irrelevant to relevant. It's been one of my favorite things in this past quarter of a century in San Diego is seeing San Diego State go from one of the worst, like Indiana football level bad in college basketball, like one of the worst programs in America, to one that reached the national championship game. Had they won that, I mean, it would have been similar to the Indiana story, but maybe even more miraculous because you're doing it at San Diego State and not a Big Ten school. And now they're relevant year in and year out. Now, are they perfect? No, but they're considered, a team to talk about every single year. And it's so fun as a sports fan to see your team make that kind of transformation.
I don't know that San Diego State basketball will ever win a national championship. I just don't.
Padres have kind of done the same thing. They've gone from irrelevant to, they haven't gotten over the hump, but they are relevant.
But with that history, like whether it's the Aztecs or the Padres, that losing history for so many years, just being in the conversation every year is so refreshing. And I think back to, of course, San Diego State in the championship a couple of years ago, but it goes well beyond that. It goes back to like 2010, 2011 when they were, in the top 4 in rankings. You got a huge game against BYU on national TV on a Saturday, and it's the number 2 versus number 4 team in the nation or whatever it was. And you're just going, I don't know how the season is going to go, but this is the most fun I've ever had rooting for this team.
All right, we got to take a time out. When we come back, we're going to play a little real or fake on a Wednesday. Since Woodsy is not here today, but you'll still have a chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas, the tickets to Sammy Hagar. If you'd like to be our contestant, call now, 833-288-0973. We'll get a tier 1 on during the break, 833-288-0973. Play our game when we return with more Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, let me talk about weight loss, and not the kind of weight loss that I experienced the last couple of days. Yeah, it was fast. 13 pounds in like 45 hours. But with SDFatLoss.com, you can lose it real fast and not feel the way that I did. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. Never really felt bad. Adjusted really quickly to the program as they laid it out for me. Eating real foods at the right times and the right portions, and watching the scale just go down. It's almost like, felt like magic, honestly, but it's not. You're putting in the work, and when you're done, you've created a new you, a sustainable new you that can keep the weight off. It's not based on injections. It's not based on, shakes or bars, which you're not going to keep eating the rest of your life. You're not going to do that. Even if you liked them, you're not going to buy them forever and ever. You want to eat real food. Well, this is a way to do it with real food, with real weight loss. All you have to do is sign up for a free consultation right now by going to SDFatLoss.com. And if you sign up for the program, still take advantage of their extended New Year's Day sale, keeping it going here through January, where you can get over 20% off, continuing the best prices of the year at SDFatLoss.com. A lot of people wanting to sign up with their New Year's resolutions. It's not too late. Before baseball season starts, you can be down 10 to 20% of your body weight, up to, again, a pound of fat per day with no exercise necessary. It really works. It does. I was one of the success stories. You can be the next by going to SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Still coming up on the program today, we got a Rindle Report at 9 o'clock and a Biggest Fan announcement. I'm assuming that Braden and Frank took care of that yesterday morning, but we'll have a new Biggest Fan announcement at 9 o'clock. Don't remember, if you don't remember, you can get your name in at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan and register to win Night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game this coming season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Again, just register your name at 973thefansd.com/biggest fan. And we have 3 announcements every single day. We also have some James Taylor tickets to give away coming up in our final hour. Right now, though, it's time to play today's game, not take on Wood since he's out.
I'm going to actually need to.
He's going to have to do the little switcheroo with our because it was Wednesday, so you had the Take on Woods open ready. I totally get that, but that's not what we're going to play. We're instead going to play a game of real or, can I say it now? Fake.
Yes. Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods.
You can go plow through another donut.
It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
The people is Ken this morning. It's brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. Ken, good morning. Thank you for calling in and playing our game today.
Good morning.
Good morning. All right, if you can get 4 out of 7 right here on Real or Fake, you will qualify for our monthly grand prize drawing. It is a trip for 2 to Las Vegas. Hopefully it goes better for you than it did for me. 2 tickets to Sammy Hagar at Dolby Live at Park MGM. 2-night stay at the Park MGM Las Vegas and a $100 gas card. Get your own tickets for Sammy Hagar at Ticketmaster.com. All right, here's what we've got for you category-wise today. The big game just around the corner. Super Bowls are 19 of the 20 most watched programs in American TV history. Let's see if you know your television history. I kind of combined a little Take on Woods and Real or Fake today. Today on Real or Fake, I'll name a famous TV program. You tell me if it owns one of the top 10 non-Super Bowl spots for a most watched episode in TV history. That would be real. or if it's a fake that did not make the top 10, if I've thrown in to fool you.
Top 10 non-Super Bowl
yes.
television programs.
Single most watched episodes in television history. Got it, Ken?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go. Start with maybe an easy one. We'll see. Round number 1. MASH, real or fake?
Real.
Real. Very good. Yes. Goodbye, farewell, amen. The finale of MASH remains the only show outside of the Super Bowl to be in the top 20 of most programs, most watched programs in American TV history. Aired on February 28th, 1983. All right. You got how it's played. We got one right. Let's go to round number 2. All in the Family. Ken, real or fake?
Real.
That one did not make the top 10. That's okay. That's just one wrong. We still have plenty of options here as we go to round number 3. Cheers. Real or fake, Ken?
Real.
That one is real. One for the road. The finale of Cheers, May 20th, 1993. One of the most 10-watched non-Super Bowl programs in American TV history. All right, you're halfway home as we get to round number 4. Dallas, real or fake, Ken?
Depending on the episode, probably when the guy was found in the shower. Real.
Not bad. Yeah. Who done it? Who shot J.R. Ewing, the November 21st, 1980 episode of Dallas? One of the most 10-watched non-Super Bowl programs in American history. That puts you just one away from the win. Let's see if we can get it here. Friends, real or fake? Friends, Ken.
Fake.
Fake. Very good. Didn't make the top 10, and you are just like that a winner today, Ken, in our game of real or fake. Congratulations. You have any idea of what there's only one other in the top 10 from network programming? Any guesses, guys?
So
what
you
it
already
might be?
got MASH, Cheers,
and Dallas, which is the other top 10 show with one episode that is not on the Super Bowl.
The only one I can think of would be shoot. What's the name of the show? I can't. I'm blanking on the show.
What's the deal? Seinfeld, the finale, May 14th, 1998. You didn't need to know that, Ken, though. Stay on hold. Paulie will get your information. You are good to go for the drawing for the trip to Las Vegas and Sammy Hagar. Not bad. Well played game.
Done. Yeah.
But probably have another Super Bowl that eclipses all other television programs in a couple of weeks. I don't know.
How
is this going to be a
that
compelling?
stuff now? Is it like they have to obviously account for like streaming?
Yeah,
but like,
I mean, it's not the most scientific of processes, I don't believe, but
because you didn't say how many millions were watching like MASH or whatever, but like with more access to so many different platforms now, I'm like, is the finale of Stranger Things or Breaking Bad or whatever, like, are those ever going to be on those lists?
None of like the great cable shows like Sopranos or Mad Men made it in terms of enough, just because I don't think there was enough subscribers like to HBO to ever get to the levels of some of these shows that were on. Because remember, like when MASH was on, there was like 3 things on television that night, so everyone turned on MASH. They had a built-in advantage. You didn't have 300 channels plus 42 streaming services to choose from every single night, plus 92 sporting events that you can choose from streaming. You had MASH, or you had some other crummy program that was probably on the other channel, and that was it. That was your only choices. Simpsons didn't make the list. I saw a lot of other guesses that were pretty good,
Lost.
But those were the only ones that made it in the top 10 non-Super Bowl edition. All right, we will take a little time out. When we come back, I want to get back to some baseball talk, including more on a topic we discussed with Craig Elston earlier, and that is potential lockout, labor stoppage, and how the Kyle Tucker deal with the Dodgers is impacting discussions among Major League Baseball owners. We'll get to that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, 7 Mile Casino is Woods and my place to play cards. We want you to make it yours as well. It is upscale. It is comfortable. Love going in there. I just walk in and I've been in other casinos, other card rooms. I never feel the same vibe as I do in 7 Mile Casino. You walk in, you feel like you're in a nice kind of club restaurant. It's nice and airy and light. There's windows. You can look out on San Diego Bay, as opposed to usually those dark rooms at the back of a casino somewhere. It's so easy to pull in and park. I mean, the proximity is amazing. You just get on the 5 freeway, head south, and before you know it, you're getting off at E, you're on Bay Boulevard, you're pulling right into 7 Mile Casino. It's also friendly. Dealers are great. The staff is great. When you go over to the cages, get your chips, cash in your chips. They'll treat you real well at 7 Mile Casino. If you're a card player and you're going anywhere else, I have to say, you are making a mistake. The food is fantastic. Sammy's at 7 Mile with the great wood-fired pizzas, the pastas, and the salads, plus the 24/7 players menu. And of course, coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday brunch, voted the best in all of South County, served 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays. So you can check it out this weekend. Enjoy the patio when the weather is nice, TVs all over the place, full bar, pretty much everything you can want, unless you're looking for slot machines or smoke. They don't have those, but I consider that a positive as well. Check it out today at 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
right, player. This is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort. Now open.
Broadcasting live from our Bill House studios. We know how. Ben and Paul on a Wednesday. We were very hopeful that Woodsy was going to be back tomorrow. Joined us in our 8 o'clock segment from the phone. Was sounding much better. Just got some updated medical news. More testing in on Woods.
I don't think he's coming back.
I don't know if he's coming back tomorrow. I guess we'll find out tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. We talked earlier about the craziness in college football, Paulie. College basketball might even be crazier. Did you see this story? So this is just in from this morning that apparently a court has issued an injunction on behalf of Charles Bediako. He's a former Alabama player who has been
Alabama
in
basketball,
who has been in the G League for, I think, 3 years now, has signed like 3 different NBA contracts, and is suing to get his eligibility back so he can return to Alabama. And he was granted it. Wow. And he's immediately eligible to play for Alabama. Guy who's been in the pros for multiple years, has signed multiple NBA contracts, is now just being allowed to go back to college basketball because the NCAA cannot stop this now. It is just like every state court gets to have their own ruling and put players back in NCAA basketball at any time. I mean, it could change the entire course of this season. I mean, this guy,
like he can play like tomorrow.
He can play tomorrow. He can play tonight if Alabama has a game.
Wow.
Which is, it's nuts.
So he's been on their roster this whole time. Yeah, ineligible.
And now he's got his injunction and can now return after being a pro for a while. I mean, where does it end? There has to be some sort of codified rules across the sport. And I'm not saying
typically the rule was you can't go and make money to play basketball,
but now that
then maintain
now
eligibility.
That you can make money in college basketball, courts go, well, what's the difference if they're making money in pro basketball versus college basketball? That can't be what determines your eligibility.
I think if anything, it means like the end of the G League possibly, which I don't think a lot of people are going to be too upset about. But
I just have no idea how they're ever going to stop it. At what point do they say, well, yeah, he's been in the NBA for a couple of years, but he hasn't made that much money, so
the NBA
he can come back and play college basketball again?
Yeah, the NBA, I mean, if you're a top potential top draft pick, the NBA still has that allure, like to go and get drafted.
Sure.
And if you know you're going to make the team.
But
there's a lot of guys, anybody in the second
round, undrafted free agents,
the G League only makes like, I want to say it's like $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year.
Right. Less than you're making in college.
If you're that good to, not quite NBA ready, but G League ready, that means you're going to be pretty good in college still. And you're going to have a chance. You get to pick your school and you're going to make, $1 million or whatever. I think that's the end of the G League. I know so many people are like, wait, I can just go overseas and play, or now I can stay here in America and play college basketball and make God knows however much money you're able to get.
I mean, maybe for guys who have exhausted their college eligibility, if that is even a thing. I mean, 4 years and you're done. Is that going to hold up in court? Like, oh no, you can play college basketball for 15 years if you want. This is why
Carson Beck, like in his like 6th year,
true.
7th year
with
of
COVID
college
and injuries and everything. I mean, guys have been playing longer and longer. I think ultimately the only way they're going to fix it is they're going to have to like unionize and collectively bargain with college athletes so they all agree on a standard set of rules. You can't have sports without rules. Every team needs to operate under the same set of rules, essentially. Otherwise, it's not really a sport. I mean,
so like, are we talking about like in theory, LeBron James has college eligibility?
They would argue right now that LeBron's made too much as a pro. Like there's a cut. Right now, the only cutoff is, well, if you make about the same as what you make in college, then you can go back. And they'd say, well, LeBron's made way too much in pro basketball to come back. But ultimately that there is an argument to be said there that he has not exhausted his college eligibility.
I mean, Victor Wembanyama didn't play any college basketball. He's only a year, 2 years in. So, I mean, he's a huge name and a huge star who's made a good amount of money, but he ain't make LeBron James money.
And this kind of leads me to what I wanted to talk about this segment. And is that is in order to have sports, you ultimately need everybody to be operating under the same set of rules.
You can't just have one school or team that just buys their way everything they need.
And in baseball, you are getting to the point where there is one team in particular that gets to operate under its own set of rules. Another one that can sort of operate, one or two that can sort of operate under similar rules, and like 27 teams that operate under a different set of rules. You know who I'm talking about, and it's becoming a bigger issue as we head into labor negotiations this year.
You're being a real jerk right now because I don't want to even sound like I'm defending the Dodgers in any way, but what rules are they breaking?
They're not breaking.
You just said playing under the same rules.
But they're operating in a different manner than every other team because they're able to, and the other teams are not. We will talk about it after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
This traffic report is brought to you by Covered California. What a big mess now on the 94 westbound at Euclid Avenue, all because of a collision. It's in the center divider, but the delays start right around Federal Boulevard. And then watch out for a stall on the 125 southbound at the 94. This one's off on the right shoulder. Open enrollment is here. Covered California can help you make sense of benefits, deductibles, networks, and the general confusion of it all. Enroll by January 31st. Covered California, for the love of Californians. Visit coveredca.com. Coveredca.com. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I alluded to it when we talked to Craig Elston back in our 7 o'clock hour, but Evan Drellich from The Athletic wrote a piece basically saying that the Kyle Tucker signing has galvanized 26 to 28 owners who now say there's no way forward in baseball without a salary cap, and they are going to demand it, insist on it. And that has always been the ticket in the past to big labor stoppages, possibly lost games, even lost seasons, as players have been adamantly opposed to the idea of a salary cap in any sense in the sport of baseball. It's the immovable force and the
immovable object and an unstoppable force.
Unstoppable force going against each other. Like there's no room for compromise between those two positions. We have to have a salary cap. We cannot have a salary cap of any kind. And that is bad news if you're a baseball fan. If that is truly how everybody feels on both sides, we could be in for a very painful 2027 after the labor contract expires on December 1st, later this year. And the reason for it, I say that the Dodgers are operating under a different set of rules. They do operate under the salary cap luxury tax rules, which means they have to pay excessive penalties on all their signings. Excessive. As Craig pointed out, the Kyle Tucker signing, they're paying more than double Kyle Tucker's salary just to pay the luxury tax penalties. But when you are pulling out of a bucket of unlimited money, it doesn't stop the Dodgers from doing anything. It stops almost every other team from making decisions. That's what luxury taxes are designed to do, to slow down the spending of, bigger market teams so they don't go so crazy. And it's worked until it stopped working. When the Dodgers decided, you know what, we don't care anymore. We will spend as much as we want. We will pay as much in luxury tax money as we need, and we will sign any player we want. So that is no longer an effective strategy for one team. It's not. The Mets can go a little bit more. Even the Yankees have stopped spending like they don't care. They care about the luxury tax. They don't want to throw luxury tax money, so they're more careful about their spending. It works on like 28 and a half teams. Doesn't work on the Dodgers. That means the system is broken. Now, how do you fix it? That is the big question going forward. Can you do it with a salary cap? Clearly, and Drellich tweeted this morning because someone asked him, does that mean there's going to be a salary floor? Absolutely. If there is a salary cap, there has to be a salary floor. Even the owners know that. They would never presume to say, we're going to have a salary cap, but, oh no, there's no salary floor. The Marlins can go on spending $87 million on their entire payroll. The Rays can spend nothing, but we're going to have a salary cap. They know that any salary cap comes with a salary floor.
How do you even implement those? I mean, if you have a team that's only got an $80 million payroll, but they make the floor $120 million, does everyone just get raises? Do they have to sign guys for exorbitant contracts that don't deserve that money?
Which is why I still think it is possible that the MLB players will see that the only way forward is going to be a change in a system that is so lucrative for them in the short term, that so many teams are going to have to spend up to the floor, that there is going to be a spending extravaganza coming out of the CBA that is going to benefit so many rank and file players. The guys who weren't making as much money, they're going to see salaries double, triple, for their contract right now. And that's going to be very tempting.
Their $3 million a year contract could jump up to $9 or $10 million a year.
Because a guy like, I don't know, pick a Padre relief pitcher. A guy like Jeremiah Estrada has the same vote as a member of the players union as someone like Juan Soto does. Now, Juan Soto, guys like that, they definitely don't want the salary cap because that's going to keep salaries from getting into the $50 million, $60 million a year, just like the basketball salary cap.
Juan Soto doesn't care because he's going to get grandfathered in.
Has kept guys like, LeBron from making $140 million a year, which he'd get that on the open market if there was no salary cap. But are there enough of those star players that are going to say, we need to do this for the good of the game, for the future superstars? Or are there going to be enough players who go, we're going to all make tons of money over the next 5 to 10 years? Yeah, in the long term, the owners will keep some costs under control. They'll keep the giant salaries from going giant. But can they make it desirable enough for the vast majority of players to go, yeah, this floor thing is much better than the salary cap thing is bad for 20 or 30 players at the top of our game? That is how I think it's going to end up playing out.
I just keep going back to that incident middle of the season last year in Philadelphia with the Phillies, Bryce Harper and Rob Manfred, apparently getting into it in the clubhouse and just saying, don't you ever come into to the commissioner of baseball, by the way, don't you ever come into this locker room and start with a salary cap. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember the exact quotes, but it was pretty contested.
Bryce Harper
then.
is just one guy. Got the same voting power.
He's only got the voting power of one guy, but I'm guessing the majority of the people in that clubhouse at least felt the same way.
They can listen to him, but again, I mean, I just hope everybody is kind of listening because I think there's a middle ground somewhere that's good for the sport, good for the fans, and ultimately going to be good for most of the players as well going forward. I got a round of report, biggest fan announcement, all coming up next year on Ben and Woods. Still to come in our final hour of Ben and Woods. Talk some more college hoops coming up. Aztecs big game tonight at Grand Canyon. I can give you my insight since I've actually been to that arena in Phoenix that is considered one of the toughest road environments in all of college basketball. Yes, Grand Canyon University. And if you don't know why, I will share that with you coming up. We also have college basketball for you tomorrow night here on 97.3 The Fan. The UCSD Tritons continuing their season after winning against Cal State Bakersfield over the weekend. They will play at UC Davis. Pretty big game for the Tritons tomorrow night. You'll hear it here at 6 p.m. on 97.3 The Fan. UCSD is currently in just a big log jam in the Big West. I think Irvine and Hawaii are 5-2, and then UCSD is in a four-way tie for third at 4-3. So all these games are really important. UC Davis is one of those teams that's also at 4-3. So big college basketball game tomorrow night as well.
You know what? Real quick, since we're talking just a little college hoops locally here. So I was at the Aztecs game on Saturday against New Mexico, and they went to a timeout at some point in the game, and they made a really cool announcement during the game. They said, hey, everyone, let's give a round of applause. The game has just gone final. The Lady Aztecs also improved to 8-0 in the conference play. They are undefeated. They are running the table right now, and the whole arena, who had sold out arena, went nuts for the Lady Aztecs, and I thought that was a cool moment just for them to get a little bit of their flowers.
I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, 15-0. Both teams trying their hardest not to be the first to take a loss in conference play, but this is the best start for the Aztecs, the Lady Aztecs under Stacey Terry Hudson. They have been red hot lately. They've gone through really the first half of their Mountain West schedule. They got a bye. I think they play again on Saturday. Obviously, Chris Ello can tell you all about it, the voice of the Lady Aztecs for many, many years, but they made the NCAA tournament last year with a surprising run in the Mountain West tournament. And now they should be one of the favorites to get back there, considering how they played so far this year. So it's been an actual really good conference season so far. After the disappointing non-conference schedule for San Diego State, it's been a very impressive conference season on both sides, men's and women's, at Viejas Arena. Before we do anything else, and we do have some James Taylor tickets to give away later this hour, it's first time to announce our biggest fan this morning. If you hear your name, you're going to have 10 minutes to call us back at 833-288-0973. Qualify for our grand prize, 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game this upcoming season with all the fan staff, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. And this morning's biggest fan, Cynthia Irwin from San Diego. Cynthia Irwin from San Diego. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes at 833-288-0973. And let it keep ringing because, Paulie and I are just the two of us today. We're going to be talking for a little bit on the Reindl Report. Remember to get your name in for our biggest fan drawing at 973thefan.sd.com/biggest fan. So while Cynthia dials, Paulie, you can get us started with today's Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
Two stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And one story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. Before you do anything, Paulie, our friend Charisma in the chat says, may I request a belated birthday shout out for my husband, Chris? LOL. It was yesterday. We weren't on the air yesterday. That's our fault. Both of us being sick.
Braden and Frank didn't give any shout outs yesterday.
So Charisma, let me just say, you're out of luck. We don't do belated birthday shout outs. So Chris, maybe next year.
Hey, we'll try again in 364 days.
We can wish you a happy birthday, but no, it's not your birthday. It was the 20th, not the 21st of January. Sorry, Chris.
Ben runs a tight ship.
I mean, have a nice day, but it's a non-birthday.
Yeah.
But just have a nice, regular old day. One of all your non-birthdays for this year. But thank you for asking, Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris. All right, let's get started here. Major League Baseball. So the 2026 Hall of Fame class was announced yesterday. We already knew that Jeff Kent was going to go into Cooperstown later this summer. Only 2 more players going to be joining him in this class. Andrew Jones cracked the 75% threshold needed. He finished with 78.4% of the votes, and Carlos Beltran also with 84.2% of the vote. Those two leading the way. They are Cooperstown bound. Looking at the next highest vote getters, Chase Utley finished with 59.1%. Better than years past, but still not looking great. Andy Pettit finished at 48.5%, well below that 75%. Felix Hernandez, 46.1%. And then you get into the A-Rod, Manny Ramirez, hovering around 40% of the vote.
The only new player on the ballot who actually stayed on the ballot, you need at least 5% of the vote, is Cole Hamels from San Diego, who got about 25%.
24. Yeah.
Which is enough to consider that he might get there eventually, which would be interesting. Cole Hamels, never a top 3 Cy Young guy, but always
solid as hell.
Solid. I mean, can you be a Hall of Famer without ever being like the best pitcher in the league? Maybe. He had a really, really good long career.
Yeah.
But he was never like so spectacular. It's an interesting argument. Chase Utley was the best second baseman for a couple of years, I would say, in his league, and then had a really solid career, but I don't know that he screams Hall of Famer. He'll probably get in the way he's trending.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say that this is probably the most problematic Hall of Fame class of my lifetime. I'm not saying that none of the 3 deserve to get in. I think
you are saying Jeff Kent doesn't deserve to get in.
I am saying Jeff. Andrew Jones,
he's a Hall of Fame baseball player.
Is a Hall of Famer, but clearly problematic, had domestic violence issues later in his career, had a very struggled in his 30s. I mean, he was elite in his 20s and then had just many dismal years at the end of his career before going to Japan. Carlos Beltran was at the center of one of, if not the biggest on-field cheating scandal in baseball history. The ringleader of the Astros. And Jeff Kent, I'm sorry, just sucks. I mean, just sucky in every way. And they're going to have an entire weekend to honor those 3 guys at the same time in Cooperstown. I would like to go like one year to Cooperstown for a ceremony. I didn't get to go for Tony Gwynn, which was a bummer. It was a work thing. Someone else got to go. I didn't get to go for that one. This would be like the one, no, if there was one I don't want to go to, this one. Thank you very
Free flight
much.
And everything, and you're just nah.
I will pass on the Carlos Beltran, Andrew Jones, Jeff Kent induction ceremony for the Hall of Fame.
I don't know, man. Cheating's cheating, right?
Yeah.
Are steroids versus sign stealing? Are we really going to draw a line on what cheating?
No one's keeping anybody out of the Hall of Fame for like looking in at a guy's mitt and trying to steal like pitch tipping. But doing electronically is definitely crossing another line. But
there's gamesmanship and then there's cheating
that you don't get into the Hall of Fame. I don't know. I mean, you can certainly make the argument.
Man, honestly, I'm probably biased against the Astros cheating scandal, but like, I don't know that Carlos Beltran was ever a Hall of Famer.
There are more problematic Hall of Famers certainly than Andrew Jones.
Oh yeah,
by far. So I'm not going to begrudge him getting in. He deserves to get in.
How much of that? Is it just what happens on the field, or is it the all-encompassing your whole career? I don't know.
At some point, they should just do like the all-problematic year and put in Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Pete Rose. Just do them all at once and just have the biggest like stained ceremony in the Alex Rodriguez. Just get them all, Manny Ramirez. Just put them all in at the same year and do one kind of awkward ceremony for everybody at the same time.
Yeah, I've personally really changed my tune on the Hall of Fame over the last 15 years, really. I mean, the fact that Barry Bonds and Alex Rodriguez are not in the Hall of Fame, I just think is wrong. I really do. Barry Bonds is the best baseball player that's ever lived. Maybe that gets passed up by Shohei Ohtani. I don't know. But like I've never seen a hitter like Barry Bonds. He was the best player. He was a Hall of Famer before he did or did not take the steroids. You just can't tell the story of baseball without that era, and to just leave those guys
you can't tell
out.
Without Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa either.
I agree. I don't think Sammy Sosa is a Hall
Alex
of Famer.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, he's 500 home runs. Yeah, he's a Hall. Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire. They're Hall of Famers. I don't know. So you said, right? Is it 5%?
You
or
have
less,
to stay
you're
on the
off
ballot. Yes, all the
So the guys that are
Rick
off the ballot,
Porcellos of the world, yeah.
Ryan Braun, Edwin Encarnacion, Shin-Soo Choo, Matt Kemp, Hunter Pence, Rick Porcello, Alex Gordon, Nick Markakis, and then with zeros.
Nick Markakis was so close.
Yeah, he got that one vote. He just needed a bunch of others. Gio Gonzalez, Howie Kendrick, and Daniel Murphy all received 0
Gio
votes.
Gonzalez was on the Hall of Fame ballot. Like, what is the qualification to get on the ballot even?
Oh yeah, I remember that guy.
I remember that guy.
I think that's it. I don't know. So you think Chase Utley, anybody other? Andy Pettit also has steroid allegations against him. Felix Hernandez. I think Alex Rodriguez and Manny Ramirez
so did
probably
David
not
Ortiz,
getting in.
and he's in the Hall of Fame now. So
Yeah,
I mean,
but he's
where do
funny and charismatic.
Where do we draw the line?
I don't know.
It's so muddled.
Yeah. And I don't know who's going to be on the class next year.
I mean, the one thing where they draw the line is you need to get 75% of the vote. However you get it, you need 75% of the vote from the writers. It's the only thing that gets you into the Hall of Fame. Doesn't really matter whether you did steroids or not. All that matters is you get 75% from the writers. And that is the one true qualification to get into the Hall of Fame. There's no number that is associated with it. It's not a number of home runs. It's not a batting average. It's 75% of the vote from a bunch of baseball writers. That's how it works.
There's your Hall of Fame talk. Been very excited to cover the Hall of Fame later this summer.
Thrilled.
We'll switch over.
We may not talk about it again. That may be it.
We'll switch over to the NFL. Baker Mayfield caused a little bit of a stir on social media, talking about his former coach, Kevin Stefanski. So somebody posted on X and they said, Falcons Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders closed out the season with 7 starts, blah, blah, he goes on. Baker quoted that and said, failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from him, meaning Stefanski, after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach, because Bucks and Falcons are in the same division. They will face each other. Unnecessary shots taken, or where do you fall on this one?
I think Baker. I like Baker.
I love Baker Mayfield.
I think he needs to grow a thicker skin on this one. He wasn't successful as the quarterback of the Browns, and sorry that Kevin Stefanski didn't, give you a nice, warm, sorry, we have to let you go phone call. But you're a professional. You're there to get paid. That's how you're thanked. In professional sports, you're thanked with a paycheck. If you're gone, I don't think you should be waiting around for glowing calls from your coach. Hey, sorry it didn't work out. We think the world of you and best luck in your next stop. I mean, it's polite if they do it, but I don't think it says Kevin Stefanski is some bad guy that he didn't, call. Some guys don't want to hear it. Kevin Stefanski may have thought, I'm the last person Baker Mayfield wants to, he just got the word from the GM that we're moving on from him. He's gone. I'm probably the last person he wants to hear from. That doesn't make him a bad guy or a bad coach that he didn't call Baker Mayfield. So I kind of put this one on Baker Mayfield.
Don't you kind of have the last laugh? Like, you've turned into a pretty solid quarterback.
Sort of. I mean, it would have been nice if,
I think you're able to prove, hey, I wasn't the problem.
You had a
Cleveland.
decent first half of the season this year. You kind of fell apart.
He's in the playoffs last year, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been relevant. He's been a top 15, top 20 quarterback in the NFL since he left Cleveland. I think that alone, just being in the league still, I don't know. I think if you're Baker Mayfield, you're like, look, I've had some success since I've moved on. The Browns have not had really any success since
he
he's
couldn't
moved
even get
on.
him past the Panthers this year in the division. It's not like he's been that great. It's been okay. He's okay.
He's fine.
He's not an unmitigated failure. He's an average NFL quarterback.
Failed is the word.
I mean, that was the writer's word. That was harsh, and but again, quarterbacks don't need to be responding to every tweet about them from every media member. You'd be doing that all day.
No, whatever. If that's what drives you as an athlete, whatever. All right. Finally, before we get to our final story, let's take this call right here. I think this might be our biggest fan. Cynthia, is this you?
Hello, it's me.
Hi, Cynthia. Congratulations. You made it within just the time limit of 10 minutes because I saw you called in a couple of minutes ago. So you are qualified for our biggest fan grand prize the night in the Odyssey Suite at a Padres game. Congratulations.
Yay. Thank you.
No problem. We got all your information. You're good to go, Cynthia. Thanks for calling in.
Cool. Thank you.
See ya. Have a good
You
one.
remember her name was Cynthia Irwin. On the caller ID is cool. It comes up as Cynthia. Cynthia. I'm calling in. Our biggest fan.
We'll get finished up here with this story. Now, Ben, you talked about in the open, you lost 13 pounds. So I got a story about weight loss here.
Yep.
There is a new report going around.
Not on purpose, by the way.
New report going around that says that weight loss drugs are actually set to potentially save airline companies over $500 million a year.
Wow.
In fuel costs. They are assuming that these drugs that you see every time, a program goes to a commercial break, there's all the different ones out there, whether it's a pill or a shot or whatever, it's going to lead to lighter passenger loads on the planes, and that requires less fuel. Says here, drugs like Ozempic and Wegovy could result in a society that is roughly 10% slimmer, like as a whole, and that will cause a huge savings for the airlines and all the gas money that they're spending.
Interesting. I feel like they're building in the costs already for the gas money to our flight charges. So, shouldn't they just be charging less then if they're using less gas, then the flight should cost less money.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't either.
But I think your logic
maybe they will end up
out.
Making more money if they're spending less on gas.
Yeah, we're talking about probably they are estimating about 2% fuel savings, but
over the course of a year
$500
and
million.
an entire industry, that makes a difference.
So the only thing they're looking at a slimmer America. They're going to save money for the airlines, but probably not for the consumers.
Okay. How do they know how heavy the passengers are going to be before they get on the plane? I assume that there's always enough fuel no matter how heavy the passengers are.
Do they weigh the planes at all?
I don't know if they they've got to have enough fuel to make sure it gets to where it's going. Like, oh, we didn't realize we got a plane full of overweight people today, and we just don't have enough gas to make it to Kansas City. I don't think that ever happens, right?
I don't think
you ever
so.
get that announcement? Like,
there's too many fat people on this plane. We can't make it.
This is your pilot speaking. We're going to need to stop in Phoenix to refuel because you people are just too heavy.
This is your pilot speaking. There are too many of you fat people in the back, and we're not going to make it to our final destination. I don't know how that works.
I'm definitely one of the heavier people on any plane that I get on. So I'm not making fun of anybody.
Well, I know they have the truck weigh stations that you see all over on the freeway at truck stops or whatever.
Right.
Like do they weigh the planes before or after? I don't think they do.
They must have some sort of way to make sure that they don't put too much luggage. They weigh all your luggage, and there's maximum weight capacity for an airplane. You don't want to get up
people
there.
Are going to have bigger size clothing. That's
you can't
more
wait until you get up there to find out that no, we don't. We are too heavy. You have to know before you take off.
Oh, that's funny.
Huh.
We're going to make a emergency landing. Over to our left is the Grand Canyon.
All right, well, that's good news to the airline industry. I still say SDFatLoss.com, better way to go than the 13-pound crash intestinal diet or the weight loss injections, which you have to keep doing, or you'll never keep the weight off. But, losing weight's a good thing, ultimately, especially for the airline industry. All right, Paulie, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
We will take a quick time out. When we come back, give away those James Taylor tickets. Got our first pair to give away coming to the Rady Shell in April for your chance to win a legendary artist in concert here in San Diego. Coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, there's a certain feeling late in a close game. Everything matters. One bad break can change the outcome. For a lot of people, retirement feels the same way. You've worked hard, you've saved, but the questions keep coming. Will this money last? What happens if the market drops? What about healthcare costs? And what does inflation do over the next 20 or 30 years? That uncertainty is real. I felt it too. Trajan Wealth helps people turn that uncertainty into a plan. TRAJAN Wealth.com. Their fiduciary advisors work with you to build a retirement strategy designed for real life, not just best case scenarios. They're right here in San Diego with offices in Carlsbad and Del Mar. Talked to my advisor, David, yesterday. If this is something you've been meaning to look into, start simple. Visit TRAJANwealth.com or call 619-367-0207 to talk with their team. Again, 619-367-0207. You can also find more information anytime at TRAJANwealth.com. Trajan Wealth, plan smarter, dream bigger. Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, SEC registered investment advisor client, paid advertisement. Additional information at TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? The spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open. player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
All guests on Ben and Woods appear on the David P. Shapiro Fan Hotline. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. Paulie and I just shared a moment during the break. Nothing big, but it's just one of those things that happens during your day at work. And I wonder if there's some tier ones who feel the same way, that feels like a tragedy when it happens. Obviously, it's not. There are very many bad things that happen in the world, but you have those little moments during the day that just make you go, heavy sigh. And it happened to me. Happens probably once a week or so, maybe every couple of weeks. When you've got your browser all set up the way you want it. And I usually have between 8 and 12 tabs on my browser open at any one time. I have a lot. I have my personal email. I've got my Odyssey email. I've got my Channel 10 email. I've got Twitter. I've got ESPN. I've got the UT website. I've got our commercial advertising program. I've got some copy. I've got my notes. They're all in separate tabs.
I've got 9 tabs open right now, and I just cut that in half probably in the last hour.
And I have it laid out. They're always in the same order, so I know how to get to them quickly. And you accidentally hit the X out button, and they're just gone. And then you have to spend the next 3 or 4 minutes opening everything up, logging back into everything, and setting up all your tabs again the way that you want them to be set up. And they just never ask you, would you just like to put it back? You have it this way all the time. Can you just put it back the way it was? And why do I have to just set it up every single time? I didn't mean to close it. It just closed on me somehow, and I have to set up the whole thing again.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I feel like, what browser do you use? I use Chrome. Google Chrome.
Use Chrome as well.
It feels like, depending on what tabs I have open, like if I have something that's actively playing a video or something, it might give me are you sure you want to close out
sometimes
all these windows? But I feel like I don't usually get it at home. At least I'll have my problem is I have a 2 monitor setup in my office, and I'll have my Chrome tab open on the left monitor, and I'll move my mouse to my right monitor to try to grab something else or whatever. And it always magnetically just moves to the upper right corner of that left screen, and then just X's out everything. And there's no are you sure you want to do this? And I just go, damn it.
All right. Some people say on Chrome, Tim says use Control-Shift-T to restore the tabs. Now, sometimes when it closes unexpectedly, it politely asks me, would you like to resume? Would you like to resume all your tabs? And I go, oh, yes. Thank you, good Chrome, sir. I would love my tabs to be put the way they were before, so I don't have to do it manually. So Control-Shift-T. I will try that next time I accidentally close my browser. And then it makes you sometimes you have to reboot your computer every once in a while. It's like sometimes it lets me put it back the way I wanted, and sometimes it doesn't.
The worst is very much a me problem, but I'll have our audio software that we use, and if I'm working on, a show open or something, 50 different sound files all kind of combining into one, I'm mixing it all up. And then something happens where if the computer crashes, the power goes, whatever.
Save as you go, Paulie.
It just goes away. It's gone. Every once in a while, there's a recovery, but it feels like those
it used
are few
to be
and far
so much
between.
worse. I mean, the early computers that did that 20 times a day. So we're probably lucky now, but we get very spoiled with our technology very quickly.
Must be tough having to open tabs for work. LOL. Yeah, you have no idea, man. We have so many tabs that we have to.
Opening tabs.
I got to worry about turning the microphone on.
That's my manual labor, is opening tabs, and it's just the worst.
I've got 9 buttons here on this board that I got to worry about and press sometimes. I mean, it's a tough job.
I'm going to try Control-Shift-T the next time.
Close out right
now.
So
after I just put them all back. What if it doesn't work? So if I hit the red circle and I close it out, and then I open Chrome again and hit Control-Shift-T, you're telling me that all my tabs that I had open will reappear again? Is Is that what you're saying in the YouTube chat?
I kind of want you to try it.
I mean, it says just close one tab. I'm not accidentally just closing one tab. I'm accidentally closing the whole browser, and they all get closed. I'm afraid. I'm too afraid. Let's just give away the tickets to James Taylor before I do make any mistakes that I'm going to regret again. If you'd like to win tickets to see James Taylor coming to the Rady Shell on April 28th, be the fifth caller right now at 833-288-0973. We'll hook you up with a pair of tickets. You can get your own tickets at Ticketmaster.com, but James Taylor fans call now 833-288-0973 to win tickets to the show at the Rady Shell on April 28th.
Some of you in the chat are being mean,
I
telling Ben
can
to
see
try
that.
Alt F4.
What does that do?
Try it and find
I
out.
don't want to try. I'm not. See, I don't trust you. I don't trust you, tier ones, a little bit. In this sense, I feel like you're misleading me. Oh, by the way, before I do anything else, I once again would not like to wish Chris a happy belated birthday because it's not his birthday, and I don't do belated birthdays. But I do want to wish a happy birthday to Jake Cronenworth, who is 32 today. Today, January 21st.
No birthday shout out tomorrow. For
No,
Crony.
I would not shout out Crony tomorrow, but I will shout him out today on his actual 32nd birthday.
Happy birthday, Jake.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. I will set the stage for what the Aztecs are facing tonight at Grand Canyon because I've actually been in that building for an NCAA Division I college basketball game. Get to that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Luckily, one of my tabs that I have open right now is Prize Picks, so I can tell you about daily fantasy for everybody, and we got the big game coming up. This would be a great time to start with Prize Picks because you can try it out this weekend for the championship games in pro football, and then you can really have fun during the big game in a couple of weeks. I mean, we do all the stupid squares that are just total luck. Why don't you actually put your sports knowledge to use? If you're going to do the squares, you might as well sign up for Prize Picks. You're setting lineups just against the numbers, stat projections. You put 2 to 6 players in your lineup. You watch the games and you cheer for your stats. And if you win, you can win big, up to 2,000 times your money with Prize Picks. It's really simple to play. It's simple to get started. You can download your account by using Apple Pay, Venmo, MasterCard. They got a bunch of different options now. And when you first load your account and you play your first $5 lineup, you're going to get $50 in free lineups from Prize Picks just for using the code KWFN. That's right. Use code KWFN when you sign up for Prize Picks and get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. Check out all the different features on Prize Picks, all the different sports, not just football, basketball, baseball, hockey, esports, soccer. It's all over the place. If it's on television, you can play a Prize Picks game on it for sure. And you're using your sports knowledge to win actual money. I think it's great. Been doing it for a couple of years. Been safe and easy for me. I've withdrawn from my account many times. You can be next. Just download the app today. It's Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey, player, this is all yours. This room with this view. This speakeasy with this cocktail. Hey, could you make that too? This spa with this. Ah. And this pool on this roof. This is all for you. The all-new Hamul Casino Resort, now open.
Had no idea there were so many IT professionals amongst the tier ones. Thank you so much for all your advice and support. I will be taking your comments under advisement going forward and how I manage my tabs in my browser.
You know, you and Woods are such boomers when it comes to technology that I think I get lauded with all of this praise for being able to fix things or help you set something up or anything like that. I'll take it, but I'll be honest, I don't know very much. Like, there are people in the chat way smarter than me when it comes to short keys and technology and all that. I would take their opinions. Except for Alt F4.
It's all comparative. My only goal in technology is to remain better than Woods, because I feel like I've just got a slight edge on
if that's the bar, then yeah.
And I've set a very low bar, which means I can exceed that bar and feel good about myself. Now, for the rest of you, I am pathetically behind because I'm 50 years old and probably nearing the end of my technological educational years. And what you know at some point is all you're ever going to know.
I mean, it is crazy. Like, just the signs of the times that you grew up in, like you experienced life before computers and learned how to use computers and, use them fairly competently and all that. Like, I grew up with the internet. I mean, we had MySpace where you could learn basic coding at 12 years old. You were putting in different coding to have this song or this type of wallpaper or whatever on your page. And that's how my entire generation lived on the internet.
I am so impressed. Charles in our chat says, I'm nearly 60. I'm the most tech savvy person in my company. I find that to be so impressive because I really always wanted to be, and I still do. I want to be the guy who's constantly curious and learning more and questioning. And I haven't given up necessarily on the technology. However, I see why people give up because it becomes more frustrating at some point, and I don't know why, but it becomes less intuitive, maybe because now it's been many years since I've grown up with the kind of computers and video games that I played, that they're so different now that I'm just trained in a different way, and it's just more frustrating than it used to be. When something new came out when I was a kid, I was so eager, I can't wait to learn all the ins and outs. And as you get older, you feel like, why can't it was just perfectly fine the way it was? Why are you making all these changes that now I have to unlearn and relearn a different way? So
it can be frustrating, but ultimately, life technology wise is always getting better.
It's never stopping.
It's never stopping, and it gets scary when you think about AI and all that kind of stuff now. But in general, everyone says, things were, better when we only had one home phone. I'm like, really? The iPhone's one of the, smartphones are the greatest inventions ever.
Agree.
Everybody has a computer in their pocket.
And I'm playing it up a little bit and kidding a little bit. I mean, if I put my mind to it.
Woods doesn't hide. He doesn't play any of it up.
He does.
He
not play, no.
legitimately
He's-
like doesn't know how to like scan something.
I just need a couple of minutes to like really just sit down and figure it out. And I can get there eventually. But I do sometimes lean on Paulie just because he's faster and just better. And I like efficiency. And my most efficient move right now is going, Paulie, can you help me with that?
It's my lot in life.
I
and
know.
It was Sunday afternoon. I was up at my mother-in-law's house. She's trying to cut the cord, and I bought her 3 Rokus for all 3 TVs in her house and set every
them all
single
up,
one of them
yep.
up. It wasn't hard at all. It's just a lot of tedious logging in, switching in these accounts and all that. And my wife and my mother-in-law were like, how would we have done this without you? I'm like, you would have plugged it in and entered your email address and your password, and you probably would have figured it out eventually.
They do, these companies want to make money and people wouldn't buy it unless they could figure it out. So they've made it so you can figure it out. I promise.
Yeah.
I know that's true. All right. Broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. Let's check traffic one more time, and then I'll set the stage for another big game for San Diego State tonight in the Valley of the Sun. Coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury.
Still working on a stall on the 52 westbound at Bonita Drive. It's in the center divider, but it is stop and go through the area. And on 94 West at Euclid Avenue, the center divider is also blocked with another crash. And these delays go all the way back to College Grove Way. We also have a crash on the 8 westbound at Lake Jennings Park Road, and that is really slowing you down. I'm Sue Aller with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So slowly but surely, with 7 straight wins, the San Diego State Aztecs have started climbing their way back into the conversation for an at-large bid in the NCAA tournament. They're currently number 47 in the NCAA net rankings, field of 68. 47 is certainly in discussion. They're 45th in the Ken Palm statistical rankings as well, and they do use that in the committee at the end of the season. Now, it's tough to tell because when you look at like ESPN bracketology, Joe Lunardi has them in the tournament, but that's because they're currently leading the Mountain West. So he has them as the automatic bid from the Mountain West. He also has Utah State and New Mexico as at-large bids, which is a good sign. The Aztecs just beat New Mexico. New Mexico is 41 in the net and 44 in the Ken Palm, so just slightly ahead of San Diego State after the Aztecs win over the Lobos. So you can see how critical every game is right now for San Diego State. A few notches up, they become a very viable at-large contender. A few spots down, and they're probably not even going to be considered because of that painful loss to Troy, a quad 3 loss, and their lack of big quad 1 wins on their resume, which remains, I think they just have 1 quad 1 win still. I think it's Nevada on the road, and not that many opportunities. Utah State lost 2 in a row. They've dropped to 26th, which means they may or may not be a quad 1 game when they come to Viejas Arena later in the season. So every game really important, and that includes tonight's game at Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon is they're a weird school. That's all I can say. They're a strange school. They're a for-profit university. Most colleges, Paulie, are nonprofits. Now, that doesn't mean they don't take in a ton of money and have giant endowments and huge like trusts where they keep all their funds, but Grand Canyon actually has like stockholders and like they pay out profits. So they're running like more of a business and trying to get as many students as possible. And the biggest marketing tool that they have is their basketball program. And they use it as a way to try to attract attention and lure students to come to Grand Canyon University, whether in person in Phoenix or online. Now, in person, if you're in Phoenix, one of the things they do to kind of juice up their basketball program is they make sure that their little arena in Phoenix is absolutely jam-packed with students every single game. And I got to go to a game a few years ago. I was asked to fill in on a USD basketball broadcast, and it was a whirlwind trip. I flew in at about, I think it was like a 6 o'clock game. I flew in like at 1 o'clock from San Diego to Phoenix, took a cab to their campus. And as I got there and walked on, it was like college game day outside the arena. like big party. I mean, this is a regular season game against USD. It's not even a conference game. This is just a big party going on before the game. And they're feeding the students free pizza, free sodas. I mean, they got
the
bands,
number one way to get students to anything.
Free food.
Yes.
And then they open the doors and the students all rush into their spots and like an hour before the game. And they are loud. It's loud in there as well. They play the music really, really loud. It's just one of the more distracting, loud college basketball environments. Picture like the show at its top level, and they do it for like the whole game. And they're right on top of you. It's really small. So, the opposing bench, they're screaming at you the whole game. And they put money into their program. I saw Mark Ziegler write, they probably have the highest NIL payroll of any team in the Mountain West. It's transfers, it's portal guys. They stole a guy away from Kansas. So they've got talent, they've got good players, and they don't lose at home. They've lost like 3 times in the last 4 years at home. And yet they're only so-so in the metrics. So a loss to Grand Canyon doesn't look great on the resume, even though everyone knows how tough it is to play in this arena. So actually, when I went, shockingly, USD pulled off the win in that game. It was a good game. It was fun. I ran and caught a plane, like a 10 o'clock flight after the game quickly, and got right back to San Diego. So all in one day. But I have seen what it's like in there. Now, hasn't gone as well for SDSU. They have not won. I think they've made 2 visits there to Grand Canyon. They lost both of them. They lost once at San Diego State against them. And I think they beat them once. So the history has not gone well for Brian Dutcher and Steve Fisher's teams in Phoenix there at Grand Canyon. But that's who they got tonight against Grand Canyon, a school that wasn't supposed to be in the Mountain West, but they got let in a year early because all the schools like San Diego State who are leaving for the new Pac-12 couldn't stop the Mountain West because they lost their voting privileges. No one was happy about it, including Dutch, but now he's stuck playing this game, which is really a no-win, all-lose game for San Diego State at Grand Canyon, which makes it one of the more interesting games of the season tonight, which is a late start, 8 o'clock tip-off.
It's like
Phoenix.
It's not a trap game
not
by
really.
definition, but it feels like a trap game.
Everyone going in knows how hard it is to play there, so they're going to be up for it. But it's just not something you're used to. It's a straight. There's a lot of great college basketball environments, but even like some like players who have gone to like Final Four and played at Duke. They go, but the toughest place I ever played was Grand Canyon University. That's just what the Aztecs are going to be facing tonight. It's not your normal college basketball game. And it will be interesting to see. The Aztecs have been, steadily improving, keeping it going, but they're playing without Magoon Guaf tonight, who's been ruled out with a hip flexor. So they won't have their.
Well, they just beat a good team. Now they were at home, but they basically played without Magoon Guaf. They played like 10 minutes on Saturday. He had 2 points. Like he was a non-factor in that game, and they were able to win. And I think New Mexico's a better team, but you were at home.
Yeah, and you've got a little added incentive because Utah State lost again last night. So if San Diego State wins, they are 2 games clear of everybody in the Mountain West as we approach the midway point of the conference season. So this is a huge opportunity road week for San Diego State. If they can pick up one or both wins at Grand Canyon and at UNLV tonight and on Saturday, they will be unquestionably in the driver's seat heading toward a regular season conference title and a number 1 seed in the conference tournament, and perhaps enough that they can say, hey, we win the Mountain West outright. We deserve an at-large bid no matter what happens at the Mountain West tournament in March. So these are kind of the pivot games. You lose a couple of these, you may still win the Mountain West, but that doesn't guarantee you a spot in the Mountain West tournament. You may still need to win that tournament at the end of the year. So I think this is an interesting one tonight. I look forward to talking about it tomorrow morning. We're making arrangements, hopefully, for Woods to be on the show one way or another tomorrow, whether it's in studio or probably from home.
I would say likely from
home.
But he sounded fine on the phone, so
that's
we'll see if we can get him on the show.
We will have updates for you, but we appreciate everybody joining us today. Braden and Frank are coming up next. Tier 1s, thank you so much. For Paul Reindl, I'm Ben Higgins. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.